Right, how's that? Oh, that works, but it's not the right one. Hello, hello, that works. That works. Hello, everyone. Right, this is not right. What the fuck is going on? It's. I don't even. Hello, hello? No, it's not even that. Hello, hello. But it's not. It's not my mic. It's not my mic, though. I don't even know what the fuck where that is coming from. I honestly have not got a clue how I just connected. I have no idea how I just connected. I thought it was this, but it's not. I can unplug that then. I don't know what. Right, hang on. Let me try this for a second. I blame Sarah P. Sarah P. said, "Oh, can I use your laptop? Can I use your system for a bit?" So sure. What's the worst you can do? Mute me? Right. Let's look here now then. Recommended settings. Uh, Wrong one. Hello, Gwenin, by the way. Nice to see you. I'm glad the chat didn't scare you away too bad. I hope you're doing well, my darling. Sound. Yeah. Hello. 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 The fuck? I don't really understand what's going on. Hello. 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 Mexi. Hang on. I can put this on here, can't I? Oh, no, I can't. Or maybe I can here. Hang on. Lesson learned. Do not tell Sarah P. Do not let Sarah P do anything. Um, Hang on, Mexi. Mexi Texi. She's my hero. Mexi will. Mexi's the one that always gives me a row. Right, let me just get this up for you, Mexi, like we always do. Right, hang on. We got obviously I've got nothing on today, people. So there's plenty of streams on. But if you just want to chill out and for a few hours, you're more than welcome to. But it'll be nonsense. That's all that this stream will bring is nonsense. So right, this is what I'm connected to, right? This is what I'm supposed to be connected to. So let me just check here now, see what I'm connected to. Properties. If I switch it to Logitech as I'm supposed to, what will happen? Hello, hello. So that is not my usual. My usual one is this one. As you can see on here, that one. This one, Microsoft Array, is not the one I use. So I don't really understand what's going on. Is that it? No. So if I just change it, show you. So whenever I change it, you can't see it. I need to listen to this just to see. I'm sorry, people. Well, I'm not really sorry. It is what it is. We haven't got a stream, so let me just listen to myself. I said listen, not anything else. Uh, can you hear me now? Sarah P, she fucked with my settings. Wow. Sarah P. She's a bitch. She's a bitch. Sarah P. Sarah P. Sarah P. I love thee. Oh, Sarah P. 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 Right, let me go and listen to the. Okay, so that is. It's not as loud. It's not as loud. I'm not even sure where that is. Hello, Marky. How are you, sir? So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. See, yeah, yeah. There's nothing happening today anyway, so you're all good. I hope your appointments go well. Yeah, yeah. Right. I don't know. Oh, hello, 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 hello. Shit in hell doesn't work. Hello, hello. Why is it doing this then? I've no idea what is going on. I don't know. You can hear me at least. Okay. I know, but it's not the loud one. Do you know what I mean? This is annoying. This is gonna annoy me because it's not the proper volume. But it is what it is. For now, it is what it is. I'll have to play with it. The stream that is not me. So hello, Sue. How are you, my darling? Right, before we get going, you can hear me. Okay, that's fine. I mean, we'll just deal with this till Josie tells me I'm too low. Because I know I'm low. So just some news I heard this morning. Sad news, unfortunately. Before I tell you, hang on, let me just check something. Um, so unfortunately, I had a message this morning to inform me that if you all know, if you all remember Keith, Big Keith in the chat, um, I've not seen him for a week or so, and I was wondering where he was. But I got a message this morning to say unfortunately he died. I don't know how or when exactly, but he has recently died. Um, which is obviously a big shock. He used to pop in, I think, most days to say hello and stuff and engage and lose his shit and stuff. But yeah, thank you. I don't want to name the person that sent me the message because she very kindly sent me the message. She said to me, um, uh, I just want to let you know that Keith Allen passed away. I know he was big into your channel and chat. So so that was the message I got this morning. I just want to let you know that Keith Allen passed away. I know he was big into your channel and chat. So thank you to that person for messaging me. And I knew that he liked the channel. He did like the chat. Um, he did find enjoyment from the chat. But always sad news when you hear about that. Obviously, Sassy Bartender was like what 8 months ago now, or less than that. And now Keith as well. He did live in Boston, um, so yeah, very very unfortunate um, for that. So our prayers and thoughts go to his family. Obviously, I don't know anything about Keith other than we followed each other on Facebook, and he used to come in here most days. But we take comfort in the fact that he did like a lot of you in the chat. He did find people welcoming, which is always good. And yeah, as I say, he was here most days. So credit to all of you as well that he enjoyed coming here. I know a lot of people that are no longer here in the sense of that he used to engage with on a daily. But yeah, he'll be missed. I will miss his opinions, shall we say. He had very strong opinions, but he was also quite respectful as well with them. Um, but whenever he used to come into chat, I remember everyone used to be nice to him and say hello to him, and he'd say hello back to everybody. So yeah, so thoughts are with him on that. We'll take a moment just to remember him. I smile when I remember his name coming to chat. So we'll just take a moment here to think of him. So send your prayers to him. So yeah, I think that's just a reminder to us all. Life is short. I don't know exactly how old he was, but I think he was like mid 50s. I believe around that age, I think, or late 50s. So hug your loved ones, people. You just don't know how quick people will go. So I know that most of us, probably none of us have ever met him in person, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't part of the family. He was obviously somebody that brought joy to people in the chat. So, and that's what I try and concentrate on, and that's what when we see all the bullshit that's going on, none of that matters. When you think about people that you know are dying, so much love to him, and obviously we still think about Sassy Bartender as well. So, okay, right. So I know Keith would be like, "Shut the fuck up and go on, get on with your show." Jeepers, you're a mess. So we'll carry on, but yeah, you may be gone, but then forgotten. So right, everyone. As you know, I don't have a stream as much planned. Today's not gone as what I expected it anyway, because the volume apparently my audio apparently doesn't want to work as I want it to work. Um, I will go back into performance mode. Oh shit! I've just pressed something else. Oh no! I've pressed two things I'm not supposed to press. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Oh shit! Disable. Hello, Rhonda. Hello, hippie chick. Hello, everybody that I may have missed as you come in. Obviously, Just Jug, someone in North Carolina loves me. Thank you, as always, to you. Right. I don't know what I just pressed. I pressed something. Performance mode, right. Oh, again, I've done it. I've done it again. I don't know why it says disable it. I don't know why I'm disabling. What am I disabling? I don't know. Properties then. But if I put, so we'll go back to that. I I'm going to have to try and fix this as well. I don't like this because it's not as loud as my other audio. So I'm sure you guys will love it because I'm literally screaming right now. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Right. What we'll do first, I have got it lined up. Well, I did have it lined up, but now it's gone. No, that's not a reason why it wouldn't work. Right, let me get... So there's some stuff that's been going on that I didn't know. So, obviously we're covering the Edric Faust trial, so I didn't get a chance to catch up. So I wanted to catch up with some stuff that's been going on the internet. One of which is, we'll play this now. One of which is Sarah P's OnlyFans. Let me get that. Oh, before I show you Sarah P's OnlyFans, actually, let's watch this first. This is Lindsay Clancy. Her hearing. I've not seen her hearing, so I wanted to play this. It's about 18 minutes long, so let's play this. I've not seen this yet.
Court, all rise. This honorable court's now set to be seated, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Good afternoon, all. This is called the criminal court list for Plymouth County, Act Plymouth, on 2/20/2026. The first case is according to call is number 2 on our list, 2383 CR 198, the case of Commonwealth versus Lindsay Clancy. This case is called for motions for the record of the defendant's present before the bar. Counsel for the record, begin with the Commonwealth, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jennifer Sprague, the Commonwealth.
Mr. Sprague, good afternoon.
And Shannon Buckingham, also for the Commonwealth.
Attorney Buckingham, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge Kevin Reddington, on behalf of Mr. Clancy.
Mr. Reddington, good afternoon. Ms. Clancy, good afternoon. All right, so this is a matter for a number of reasons here today, I think. But first, I just kind of wanted to, we talked about the evaluation. And I know there was a motion that was just recently filed. And by recently, I mean just the last day or so. So I'm not sure we're going to address those motions that were filed. We'll need a new date on those. But one of them that was filed that I didn't know if we could take up, and that's one regarding the taping of the Commonwealth's evaluation. Now, I know we've talked about this for a number of times, so I didn't know if we can address that at the Commonwealth's position. My understanding was that there was no objection to the taping of the evaluation, with the only proviso on that dealing with some of the actual testing. So I don't know where we stand on that. Call?
Yes, Your Honor. I did just receive these motions yesterday, so I don't have any case law to argue or anything like that. But our position was that we had no objection to the recording of the examination of the defendant. We would only object to recording of the testing process because of proprietary rights for the standardized testing.
Ms. Reddington?
I don't know the impact of videotaping the proprietary rights for standardized testing. First of all, I would suggest that might come under W for who cares. We're not here to protect proprietary rights of private businesses and enterprises, number one. Number two, personally, I don't really care about the proprietary rights. My concern is what the actual tests are going to be, how they're going to be implemented, how they're going to be administered. And I can speak to certainly Dr. Zeisel, one of my consultants who's here today. I can speak with him regarding that. I know as far as the testing is concerned, usually it's, you know, the usual judges. You're well familiar with Minnesota multi-phasic personality, Beck inventory, all of those tests. So I don't really have a problem with them not videotaping the actual filling out of the squares and the actual tests. So I think we can agree that it would be the interplay between the government's doctors and Lindsay as far as them asking her questions and her related statements, that would be videotaped.
Well, I don't propose to come to a stipulation. If we can, my suggestion is to pick a date to argue this motion prior to, if I remember, sometime early April were the dates that have been set. And that would allow all parties to kind of get media information.
Yes, unfortunately, Erin, Keith passed away. I've only just not long ago found out myself, to be quite honest. But yeah, he passed away. I don't know how or when exactly, but he was here about a week and a half ago, I'm sure, or 2 weeks maybe. He was here, but yeah, he passed away, unfortunately. I just want to state that because I know that, just to confirm that.
Is to the need for not taping the testing or the no need for it. So then I can fashion a decision. But I want to make sure that it doesn't slow down or interfere with the actual testing.
Your Honor, we have the testing scheduled for April 10th.
Right.
I may have misheard, but I thought the defense counsel just said that he had no objection to not recording the testing. So if that's the case, then I think we could come to an agreement.
Mr. Rathan?
Again, I just would like to consult with my own experts regarding that, but I feel myself that I don't really have an issue with not recording and filling out the little squares and that type of thing. I have no problem.
All right. So what do we do? I'm going to allow the videotaping of that. That will include the testing as well. If either party wants to strike that, or pound that part of it, if we can do that, call on.
Could we do the reverse and just order the testing of the interviewing, and if there is some reason that defense...
No, what I'm saying, there's no question about, it doesn't sound like either side is objecting to the evaluation itself being videotaped. The only issue, it seems to be, is whether or not the testing itself is videotaped. And now I'm hearing it probably isn't much of an objection. So what I'm going to, my suggestion was to allow the taping of the evaluation and the testing. And if somebody wants to, me to reconsider it and come forward with any additional evidence as to why the testing itself shouldn't be.
Well, I think that, you know, it puts the Commonwealth in a position where we received this motion yesterday. I haven't had a chance to research it or respond, and yet there will already be a decision allowing that taping.
But you
that
want to tape it.
we're objecting to the taping of the...
But you know what's the tape? You want...
I don't want to take the testing portion.
All right, okay. All right, so why don't what I don't want to do is I don't want to go.
Well, I think that's a good ruling by the judge. Why don't you just tape it? Wherever the testing is, why don't you just tape it and we can argue afterwards? Because if you're going to tape it, doesn't mean it's going to come into evidence. But like if you don't take the testing, then there's no opportunity then to show it. So isn't that logical? Does that not make logical sense to tape the whole thing and then assess whether it comes in after the fact? That's more logical than doing all the testing and then arguing, well, there's no evidence of this, we didn't tape it. and the state don't want it recorded, why? What have you got to hide? That makes no sense to me. Yes, I miss Keith as well. I think that judge is saying a really good ruling, but they're opposing it. So we'll see what happens here.
Delay the testing.
Right.
So, how much time would you need to prepare for this motion?
As you well know, I'm on trial now in Denver Superior. I'm going to jury out probably Monday or Tuesday. I would say that a lot of the courts are putting on stuff.
Hello. How are you doing in the CG? And hello, Dave. Boston Dave, how are you?
2 o'clock in the afternoon now, so it's a little difficult. How about the 2nd of March? Would that work? It's a Monday.
Pretty spread.
I'm preparing for a trial that starts March 9th. Could we do it more towards, March 23rd? And that gives us a
That's
couple
fine.
weeks before the testing is supposed to start?
I don't have a problem, but just so everybody knows, that testing's going forward on that day, no matter what.
I apologize, I just looked, I'm in family with Judge Hussain on a triple homicide in Fall River on that day.
Which day?
The one you just mentioned, which would be, I think, the Monday. Yeah, March 2nd. Thank you.
So, Paul, if you suggest the 23rd,
No, that's right, no, not March 2nd, it was the 23rd of March. Right, I'm paneling in Fall River on that day, I had it last year. I'd certainly accommodate, really, if you throw out there March 10th, you could be here in the afternoon.
Be on trial.
can we do March 2nd? I know you.
That's fine.
Before purpose, and I don't want to jam you up in regards to that, but it sounds like, quite frankly, the defendant may or may not really object to the testing. He just wants the opportunity to speak to his doctor. And so it may not even need a hearing in regards to that. But if it is, it's going to be a fairly short hearing. Most of this can be done through affidavits if parties have an objection to it.
I think what the court would probably want to know is what is it, when they say protection of their proprietary rights, what is it they're concerned about? Is it that they don't want to videotape the filling out of the forms, or is it the actual content of the test? And I just don't know.
And I don't want to put the come in the middle of this either. I know that you're dealing with other parties who want their position made known to the court. So I think we can do that. Most of it can be done through affidavits. Then I can take a look at it, and then if we need it, we can have a short hearing on the 2nd. Does that work?
That's fine.
Okay, all right. So the motion regarding videotaping will be on March 2nd. Other than that, in regards to the evaluation, any issues regarding the discovery that's required under Rule 14.4, I guess now, that's required prior to the evaluation. The Commonwealth satisfied that they have what they need.
Defense counsel has stated that he's turned over everything his experts have reviewed and all of the raw data from their testing. So relying on that, I don't believe there's anything else at this time.
All right, and if anything comes up, just a little bit, I'm kind of going through my checklist to make sure that we have everything. So it sounds like the discovery for the evaluation is complete. There were 2 other motions that were filed. One is regarding juror information. The other is the motion to bifurcate. Is that something we can argue on the 2nd?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
all right, why don't we do that? because I just got those two, I haven't reviewed them, but they'll give me a chance to go over those motions as well. So, if the parties talked about, again, under, I know the three of you know this very well, but in regards to the exchange of the document reports, is there an agreement in regards to when Commonwealth's report is issued? Is there an agreement between parties that there'll be an exchange of the defense report as well as the Commonwealth report?
We haven't talked about it, but as soon as we have the reports, then to turn them over and request theirs in return.
That's my practice, Your Honor, is that once the government's doctors file their report, I provide ours to them and vice versa.
Right. And then, but, so when you get there, if that's any different, then just, we can address that in court. But that's been my experience as well. When they're both ready, there'll be exchange between the parties. Now, in regards to scheduling, well, we don't get the July date, probably, then I thought, working backwards a little bit, is maybe a final trial conference date, rather than a week or two ahead. My thought was maybe sometime in early June, because I imagine there'll be significant motions to eliminate, we'll have to address. And that'll give us time in case anything has to be kind of followed up on prior to the trial. But I kind of just wanted to bounce that off of three of you. What are your thoughts? Come on.
I think that makes sense, Your Honor. I would ask that we keep the final pretrials date set for July 13th in case any last-minute issues come up, but I think it makes sense to have an earlier one as well.
Mr. Reagan?
I agree.
Yeah, so we'll keep the July 13th. That's kind of a true final trial conference we have. But we can pick a date maybe sometime earlier in June. We need to deal with motions to eliminate.
So council looking at the week first, or the week of the 8th, and then the 4th, 5th, 12th.
I'm sorry, I'm scheduled to start a trial in federal court with Judge Saris. It's going to go 2 weeks on the 1st of June, so I'd say anything the week of the 15th. Yep, that's fine.
How's that?
That's fine.
All right. So that'll be the final trial conference. Parties can have their motions to eliminate filed a week before. Then we can address any of those time.
Does that work with you, with your trial schedule?
It doesn't look call you to get an extension.
Well,
Yeah, that works.
All right. And then,
I'm sorry, Your Honor, you said a week before or 2 weeks before?
why don't we say 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
That's probably better for everybody's preparation, including the court. All right, the other thing is, on March 2nd, we're going to deal with those motions. Is it, the defendant's request that she be brought in or by Zoom just for those quick hearings?
I'd like to have you here. And I have to, if I may, on that issue, I would actually, strangely enough, like to commend the Sheriff's Department and our staff in Tewksbury that melded together incredibly and done just a marvelous job with transportation and supplies and taking care of our ancillary issues. So I just wanted to put that on record. Appreciate the help the court provided in that regard as well. I would like to have her here if I could.
So we'll see that, kind of gives it kind of a short runway, so we can we'll try and get that done.
Okay.
If not, if we can't get that done,
Not critical. I mean,
yeah, we may have to have her on by Zoom.
That's fine.
That's all.
Understood.
The other thing in regards to that, I know the court issued an order regarding the procedures, which is sealed because it mainly dealt with security issues. I also just kind of wanted to let council know, if, and it's in the order, if either side or any of the parties feel that order has to be amended or changed, just bring it to the court's attention.
Of course,
Okay.
thank you.
All right.
If I could just ask, the March
Tonight,
2nd
family,
date
Fairfax.
and the June 18th date, are those at 2 p.m.? Or,
If we can.
Tonight, a family in Fairfax County is
It does,
out.
I just wasn't sure if we wanted more time for the motions than Monday?
Oh, June 18th?
Yes.
I think we should do the morning of that. Right, I was thinking it's March, yes, June 18th, because I don't know how long that goes to be, so we'll do that.
Okay.
And it closes at 10 o'clock.
thank you.
With regards, other than that, anything else that we need to address, first call?
No, Your Honor.
Defendant?
I don't think so.
All right, so we'll be in recess on this matter until, we would say, March 2nd. And at that point, we'll deal with those motions that have been filed, any other issues that we have to. We've got the trial date, the 2 final trial conferences, and then if there's any issues regarding discovery, especially under Rule 14.4, parties can bring it to my attention, we can deal with that.
Okay,
All right?
thank you.
All right, so with that, we'll be in recess on this case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Activity 26, yeah, motion.
Court, all rise. Court stands in recess. Please finish.
Okay. Oh, I don't know what to think about this trial. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be a tough trial, I think, in terms of. I mean, I've already seen people. They're already like a couple of camps here where people are just like can't get over that she obviously killed her 3 children, and they just like burn her type thing. Then obviously another camp is, well, you know, it's tough, but she wasn't in the right state of mind and stuff like that. So this is going to be a tough one. I wouldn't want to be a juror, I don't think, in this trial, because I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, a little bit. What do the courts can do to make her suffer any more than she has right now? I know. You know, I know. I know. Feeling for her does not mean you condone what she did. That's another camp, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I think more the people are like, she should not have any prison time because of obviously her mentals at that period of time. Hello, how are you, Patricia? Hope you're doing well, my darling. Nice to see you, my darling. Right, so that is one to keep an eye on. That is going to be a very tough one, I think, to watch, and I think it's going to be a little bit explosive as well in some ways for a lot of people. So, right. This is one I found this morning, which I find interesting. This is a guy who's accused of shooting the Donna C CEO Gret Glyer. Obviously, this happened last week again, but you know, we'll see what happens with this one. So this is about an insanity plea agreement between them. So I'll play this so you can. Let me set it up. This is a month ago they made this one up. So as they put this together, and then there's a ruling now as well. So listen to this one first. Hopefully gives a little bit of background of what happened.
Tonight, a family in Fairfax County is outraged over a possible insanity plea for a man accused of killing their loved one. Police say 32-year-old Greg Glyer was shot multiple times as he slept next to his wife.
So this happened back in 2022. An acquaintance, 36-year-old Joshua Danehauer, is charged with his murder. Now, Glyer's loved ones are now coming forward after they claim the suspect might be found not guilty due to reasons of insanity.
Our Matthew Torres is at the Fairfax County Courthouse with the latest developments and why the family feels prosecutors just aren't doing enough.
So here we are 3.5 years later without my son.
It's been a tumultuous journey for Sylvia Glyer and her family on a mission for justice for her son Gret, shot and killed in a home invasion in Fairfax City in 2022.
He had a global network around the world of people that love and care about him. And all these people are hoping for justice in this case.
Pick out your very first DonorSee project.
Glyer was the 32-year-old CEO of his charitable nonprofit DonorSee. Authorities say Joshua Danehauer broke into Glyer's home and shot him 10 times while he slept. Glyer's wife was lying next to him, and their 2 toddlers were at home at the time. None of them were hurt.
This evil murderer knew what he was doing.
While the motive is unknown, Glyer's family says the suspect went on a date with Glyer's wife a decade earlier. Nothing more happened, but they claim the suspect kept wanting to reconnect. Just months before the shooting, Glyer and his family started attending church, where Danehauer happened to be a member.
This trial should have been held 2 years ago.
Years of delays in competency evaluations have frustrated the family. Over the holidays, the family met with prosecutors. They say they were told Danehauer could possibly receive an insanity plea.
We were told this whole time for 3.5 years that an insanity plea was not an option, only because of how much evidence that there was in this case, that the man who killed my brother intended to kill him, and that he knew what he was doing in the sense that he knew the difference between right and wrong.
The Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office did meet with the family and claimed to discuss various options, including an insanity plea. This after an expert for the defense declared Danehauer was insane. Prosecutors hired their own expert, but the final report has yet to be submitted. The prosecutor's office has not made a final decision, but the family says they left that meeting feeling differently.
When we heard that there was going to be the possibility of a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, we did not accept that.
Shocked and appalled that the prosecution team would allow this to happen and not fight for a trial, which there is a legal precedence to do.
If there is an insanity plea, Danehauer would be in a mental facility where there's a yearly hearing for 5 years. Loved ones fear he would have a chance to get out.
I want to say a message to the judge. Don't let injustice prevail in Virginia.
So what happens next? Loved ones are hoping to find out during the next court hearing scheduled January 23rd. In Fairfax tonight, Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.
Well, new tonight, a Fairfax County judge granting an insanity plea in the murder of CEO Greg Glyer. The victim's family blames prosecutors.
Shamari Stone's been following the story. He has an update for us from Fairfax County.
This is exactly what the Glyer family was concerned would happen when I interviewed them last month. They did not like the direction of this case. They are disappointed with the judge's decision. Tonight, the family of DonorSee CEO Greg Glyer outraged tonight. Today, a judge granting the insanity plea to 36-year-old Joshua Danehauer, the man accused of murdering Glyer in 2022. The insanity plea agreement allows him to not serve any time in prison, but instead sentenced to a mental institution. Fairfax County prosecutors say Danehauer shot Glyer nearly a dozen times while Glyer was in bed next to Glyer's wife. Last month, the Glyer family told me that prosecutors told them about the possible plea deal, and their concern was confirmed today.
Our family is shocked and devastated at the lack of justice for Greg Glyer's death. He was shot to death 3.5 years ago, and we were waiting for a trial for first-degree murder charges. Instead of a trial, the prosecutors under Steve Descano chose to drop the criminal charges against the defendant and instead send him to a hospital where he will be able to focus on his mental health.
In a written statement, the Fairfax County Commonwealth Attorney's Office says, quote, The Glyer family's hurt and disappointment is completely valid and more than understandable. Our clinical expert had previously found the defendant to be legally insane at the time of the offense, which now makes two independent experts who have reached that conclusion. These findings mean the Commonwealth would be unable to meet our burden of proof at trial. Individuals who are found to be legally insane are remanded indefinitely to a Virginia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services facility. In Fairfax, I'm Shamari Stone. Back to you.
So I thought that was interesting because obviously the biggest problem the family have with it is the fact that he will never stand trial, so he will never face justice, and potentially, even though I don't think it'll happen, he could be out on the streets again in like well, as little as a year. Seems smart, I don't know why that's doing that. Don't know what that does that. See if we can do this. So, let me take this logo down there. The killer of a married charity CEO has stunningly avoided jail time after a judge accepted his insanity plea, despite claims he meticulously planned the murder of his ex-husband. So yeah, he went on a date, though he dated the victim's wife. Joshua Daniel Danhauer, 37, admitted to fatally shooting Donna C. founder Gret Glyer, 32, in Fairfax, Virginia home in June 2022, but pleaded not guilty to murder charges by reason of insanity. Danhauer created a chillingly... oh shit, I've just moved something I'm not supposed to move. There then. Creating a chillingly detailed plan to pull off the killing, including noting to himself that he would need a mask and ski goggles, that he would shoot Glyer with quick fire and a finishing shot, and that he would then need to put his gloves in a trash bag and get on the highway as soon as possible. But ahead of the scheduled murder trial, Fairfax County Circuit Judge Stephen Shannon went against Glyer's family wishes and accepted Danhauer's insanity plea. So there he is. That is the defendant, or was the defendant. Plea allows him to avoid jail time. The plea will allow him to avoid jail time and be housed in a mental health facility with a chance at release at a yearly review. A possibility that Glyer's family said would leave them fearing for their lives. Danhauer killed Glyer by shooting him 10 times next to his wife, while the other two, while their two young children slept next door. And prosecutors said he had planned the horror for some time after becoming obsessed with Glyer's wife, Heather. Glyer's family said the two had briefly dated a decade prior, and Danhauer, who at the time was a FedEx worker, then saw her again at a church function and hatched his plot. Prosecutors said Danhauer meticulously plotted the murder of Glyer in a document he titled The Plan. The document includes phases for how to get away with the murder, including clearing his phone and computer beforehand, loading his firearm in his car, unloading with a finishing shot before hopping a back fence and changing clothes. And that is part of it. Oh, I can't make it bigger. That's what she said. So you can see escape, khakis, birds, cover hat, bag, pull over, drive, clear phone and computer, gear up, holster, mag, knife, low chamber, U-turn, approach, mask up in bed, bathroom / elevator, ready entry, quick fire, multiple rounds. So family slam judge cites premeditation. Psychiatrists said in a report to the court that Dane Hauer was severely mentally ill, and after becoming obsessed with Glier's wife, he spiraled into hallucinations. Hallucinations. How do you say that? Hallucinations, including believing Glier was part of the Illuminati. Glier's family slammed the judge for accepting the insanity plea as they pointed to clear premeditation in the murder. There was a premeditated nature to this crime. The killer planned the attack with a step-by-step procedure of how he was going to kill my brother and get away with it, his sister Gizan Glier said. He admits to this, and yet he's using his mental health problems as an excuse to avoid any punitive punishment for his crimes, and that is not right, she said. When there's no punishment from premeditated murder, there's no hope in the criminal justice system. There they are with the children. Annual reviews could open door to future release. Under Virginia law, Dane Hauer will be committed to a psychiatric hospital, and his status will be evaluated annually for the next 5 years and every 2 years thereafter, with each evaluation presenting a legal opportunity for his release if he is deemed no longer a threat to himself or others, per WUSA 9. The possibility of Dane Hauer's release led Glier's family to say they not only fear for their own lives and that of his 2 children, but for the entire community. If you encounter Dane Hauer on the street, believe me, you are not safe, Glier's mother, Sylvia said. Just like on June 24th, 2022, his sister Gizan Glier added, after the plea was accepted, evil has won today. There she is. Commonwealth of Virginia issues statements. I wish Lady Di was here. In a statement following the plea, the Commonwealth of Virginia said the Glier family's hurt disappointment is completely valid and more than understandable. Our clinical expert had previously found the defendant to be legally insane at the time of the offence, which now makes 2 independent experts who have reached that conclusion. These findings mean the Commonwealth would be unable to meet that burden of proof at a trial. Individuals who are found to be legally insane are remanded indefinitely to a Virginia Department of Behavioral Health and Development Services facility. So on the one hand, I obviously 100% get the family's frustration. They are pissed, and I would be as well in their situation. I would be fucking livid that he wasn't, going to court. However, on the flip side of it, it is, refreshing to see that the Commonwealth, do acknowledge that they couldn't meet their burden because of evidence by their expert witness. And normally what happens with Commonwealth is, if they have one expert that says, no, it doesn't fit the narrative, we'll go and get another expert, another one, until they find one. But they've just said, no, we've had 2 experts now saying that this person is criminally insane. He was insane, so he can't, at the time of the incident, so he can't, stand trial, and the judge agrees. So on the one hand, it's refreshing to see that the system does work. However, I also feel for the family, because technically, and I don't think it's going to happen, but technically, in a year's time, he could be out of the facility, potentially. Do I see that happening? Probably not, but he was deemed insane at the time of the incident when he killed. That doesn't mean he's insane right now. So potentially, in a couple of years, he could actually see the light of day again, and that would, well, I understand why they would be pissed at that. But he still hasn't even stood trial, so I mean, by the sounds of it, he obviously did do it. I don't think that anyone questions that. But I've never heard of, like, I've heard of it, but more recently I've not heard of a defendant getting an insanity plea. Many people try, but normally fail. But not on this occasion. Ugh. Badass is now lurking. They will be missed. Now we can bitch about them. Let's fucking go. Right. Dave is lurking. Hey, Dave. Hamburger. How are you doing, Dave? Right. So there's that. Right. The other stuff I have here. Where's it gone? Where's... Oh, wrong one. I got to close these down, that's why I'm got that off, got this off, that there. Where's it gone? Right, Dave will enjoy this one. Dave loves this kind of stuff. Let me get that back on there. Right. Stefan Diggs. Bye, Erin. Do you have a trial deadline? No. So the Miami one, they're no longer releasing videos, and the South Carolina one, the judge won't allow cameras in court. So my last two I was going to stream, neither one. Now, it's not to say I won't find one. I've not looked, Dave, if I'm being honest with you. Most people are watching Corey Richins and Dale Warner stuff, so I've not properly looked, Dave, if I'm being completely honest with you. Anyway, this is Stefan Diggs. I've not seen this either, so... Oh, well, yes. Right, this guy, I met this guy. So he was one of the... So this guy here, he was one of the two court officers that came to see me when I took a picture in the lobby of the court. So if I see the other guy, I'll tell you. So... Have we any UK clips still on the yank like the wigs? So some like it, some hate it. Badaza. It's a mixed views. Some people don't like it at all. But yeah, if it's a short one, I'll have a look. I've got other stuff here, so. But yeah, he was a prominent officer in the court with Karen Reid's trial, and he is. I think he's the head officer.
I think the contract is the same. I think I want to put it.
If she is, that's just for you, Badaza. I just, stopped that right there just for you.
So I think the contract is the same.
Let me get over here.
This actually looks like the court that I've been in. I've been in this courtroom a couple of times. It looks like the same one. It's a small one. That's what she said.
Like that. Good table. Yeah.
Morning today is Friday, February 13th.
Yeah, this is the courtroom I've been in. This is the exact courtroom I've been in. This dude was quite cool. It might have been him. I don't remember. It might have been him that. It might have been him that told me to delete my photo.
2026. This is the call of the list.
Oh no, it wasn't. It was this guy. It was this guy.
Honorable Judge.
Oh shit.
Good morning.
So, oh shit. I can't get it. Oh, hello. I'll try and stop it.
Court, all rise. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons having anything to do with the Honorable Jean Marie Carroll, First Justice of the District Court, now sit in attendance. Within and for the Commonwealth, draw near, give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. This honorable court is now in session. You may be seated. Please remain quiet in the court. Thank you.
Good morning.
Oh, I can't get it. But this is the guy that that came up to me and said I had to delete the photograph in my phone that I took. And he watched me do it, watched me delete it from my junk as well and stuff like that. But he was a cool dude. He was cool about it. He wasn't a dick about it or anything. He was quite cool.
Good morning. Today is Friday, February 13th, 2026. This is the call of the list. The Honorable Justice Carroll is presiding. Well, the first matter is the matter of the Commonwealth versus Stefan Diggs.
Good morning, ADA Drew Virtue to the Commonwealth.
Good morning, Your Honor. Andrew Kettlewell from District 8. Waiving the reading, sir?
Yes.
Not guilty plea will enter.
All right. Commonwealth, any requests?
Commonwealth's requesting a stay away, no contact from the victim, including third-party contact.
Any?
No. And next date, sir, April 1st?
Reading of April 1st, the pre-trial.
All right.
So, sir, on this matter will be continued until April 1st, 2026 at 9 a.m. That's for a pretrial hearing. Being released today on your own personal recognizance with the conditions will be released. They to stay away and have no contact with the named victim, and that includes third-party contact. Please be advised if you violate the terms of your release, or if you commit a new criminal offense during the pendency of this case, your bail or personal recognizance could be revoked, and you could be held without bail for up to 90 days. That's April 1st at 9, sir. Please see probation today before you leave. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Calling a
This is what I hate about Massachusetts court. Well, I'm not just courts in general. Like he's got there, he's driven all the way there for that. Sometimes I just think like, what a waste of time. They should be like like these kind of things. Do it on Zoom. Just do it on Zoom. What a complete waste of time. But also, not just for him, but anybody, because lots of people have to take time off work just to stand there being like, oh, yeah, we're pushing it forward. I don't get it. That's it. No one should be. I did recognize the attorney as well. He's not a very good attorney. The Commonwealth one. Right. It's weird that. So I've been in that courtroom. Weird. It would be much quicker, but that. I mean, I don't get the waste of time for all defense. When I was there, I remember for one of the cases I was there for, that you were made to be there for 9 o'clock. The case, like they saw Stefan Diggs there straight away. There'll be other cases in that courtroom today that people have to wait till about 11, 12 o'clock to be seen. And it'll just be exactly like that. It's just bullshit. Waste of time and money and everything, in my opinion. Right. Take that out. Take that out. Okay, hang on. Everybody. Just because Dave. Did you throw up on the floor? Why would I throw up on the floor? David, why would I throw up on the floor, David? So I'm trying to look for something here. See if it comes up here. I was there for a case. Somebody had been assaulted, and I knew them, so I went along to support. Yeah, so that's why I was there. Okay, so here's one. Interesting one. No, I didn't, Dave. I know, I didn't. My bad.
10 p.m.
So, that's my bad, Dave. This is a former officer charged with lying under oath. So, let's listen to this. I've only just found this one.
New tonight, a California Highway Patrol officer is charged with lying under oath about several traffic.
10 p.m.
New tonight, a California Highway Patrol officer is charged with lying under oath about several traffic stops. Prosecutors say the evidence here is overwhelming.
But this case will likely never go to trial. KCRA 3 investigates. Lizzie Mitri shows us why.
We are here as part of a criminal interview with Officer Michelle Reiner.
A veteran officer accused of betraying the badge.
I couldn't believe it. It's like, what? She's lying. Totally lying.
From enforcing the law on California's roads and highways to facing charges of breaking it.
Do you have any questions for us?
I have no idea what's going on, so I don't even know what I'm supposed to ask.
Okay.
I've never been in this situation, so I have no idea what I'm doing here.
It's been nearly 3 years, but Scott Bull remembers it clearly.
I was driving south on I-5 in Yolo County Saturday morning, Memorial weekend. And I know CHP's out in force during holiday weekends.
So he wasn't surprised to see an officer parked ahead under an overpass. What did surprise him? That officer pulling him over.
She said she clocked me doing 86 miles an hour. I told her I wasn't speeding.
Bull says for the first time in his life, he got a traffic ticket.
For no reason whatsoever, she singled me out.
It meant a $274 fine and a point on his driving record that would cause his car insurance to go up.
And it hurts when you're on Social Security, and that's your sole income.
So he went to court on Zoom to fight it.
People versus Scott Nicholas Bull.
That's when he learned under oath. Officer Michelle Reiner's description of that day was very different.
As I was traveling southbound, I observed a vehicle ahead of my location when I was traveling about 80 miles per hour. The vehicle was directly in front of my patrol vehicle in the number 2 lane.
The 22-year veteran said she was driving, not parked, and that she matched Bull's speed, pacing him for a quarter of a mile.
That's a lie. It's a total lie. And my blood pressure must have been through the roof when she started saying that. I just couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
Bull asked for evidence like dash camera video.
I don't have a video today, and it is unknown if the camera was working at that time.
Ultimately, the court took the officer at her word, finding Bull guilty. Despite hitting roadblocks at every turn, Bull tried once more, this time with the CHP.
I wanted to file a complaint, let them know that this officer should not be wearing a uniform. Doesn't deserve to be in the CHP.
Bull had no idea what he had just set in motion.
I wanted to take this case because this is the kind of officer that we need to go after aggressively.
A CHP investigation found Bull was right. And he wasn't the only driver impacted. Out of all Reinert's citations in 2023, CHP found inconsistencies with more than 50. In the most egregious cases, they recommended the Yolo County District Attorney's Office bring criminal charges. That's how the case landed on Fritz Vanderhoek's desk.
I'm a supervising deputy district attorney.
He's also a former police officer.
It's a hard job. It's super underappreciated. And when I see something like this, it just makes my blood boil. These are the people that are destroying the reputation for all of law enforcement.
Reinert was charged with 6 counts of perjury tied to 3 speeding tickets, including Bull's.
So basically, Officer Reinert was writing traffic tickets for offenses that weren't committed, and then writing notes and providing testimony on that about things that didn't happen.
Do vehicles have camera on the vehicle?
Remember when Bull asked about dash camera video? Turns out Reinert's camera was working.
This was like night and day.
Just as Bull described, dash camera video shows Reinert parked. When she does get on the highway, she's behind Bull for no more than 5 seconds before pulling him over.
Right, there's a huge difference between pacing somebody for a quarter mile and pulling behind them and immediately stopping them.
Reinert's inconsistencies in this case also had consequences for her others.
So we had to dismiss a bunch of DUI cases because we no longer had a witness that could competently testify about the case, including at least one where there was a DUI with injuries.
Despite the impacts and the evidence, Reinert's case also came to a screeching halt.
So this didn't go to trial, right? What happened?
So the defense filed a motion for mental health diversion on the basis of a PTSD diagnosis.
Reinert and her attorney didn't respond to our interview requests. But in court, they argued Reinert was suffering from severe post-traumatic stress disorder. They say she didn't purposely lie, that instead, on 3 tickets, she made mistakes. In December, a judge granted her request for mental health diversion, which means instead of the maximum prison time Reinert faced of roughly 24 years, she only has to do therapy for 2, and then case dismissed.
Do you feel like she's getting off easy?
Oh, definitely she's getting off easy. Yeah.
Does it feel like justice?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Bull says it was still worth staying the course.
Well, if you believe you're innocent, fight for yourself.
Based on CHP's findings from his complaint, the court reimbursed Bull, reversing its decision on his speeding ticket and restoring his spotless driving record. In Yolo County, Lizzie Mitri, KCRA 3 investigates.
Well, Reinert retired from the CHP in February of 2024. A dishonest officer could lose their state law enforcement.
That drives me mad. I'm all for like mental health and stuff, don't get me wrong, and in the right context. But come on, she fucking stood there and lied. Happily lied. It wasn't even a stretch. It was a complete lie. And she just gets away with it. That it doesn't, like... I don't like that. That guy had a fine, he got points, he got... Wow. That just shows that people lie under oath. They don't care. You know, there are instances where mental health comes into play, right? There is. And that's why I think it's a fine line between, you know, mental health is a thing. It is a thing. And if you've ever had it, you know, if you suffer from mental health, it's not nice. But mental health doesn't necessarily mean that you go to court and lie under oath. It doesn't make you do that. Do you know what I mean? You can suffer from mental health, but it doesn't mean you have to lie in front of a court and perjure yourself. So I don't agree with that. I don't like that. You know, again, mental health is a thing, but not in this case, in the sense of mental health did not make her lie under oath. That was a decision she made. She could have said, yeah, I fucked up. But she decided, no, I'm going to lie and cover up. So that is something that she decided to do. So you can't say that was mental health. As I say, there's a lot of things out there that some people may disagree, because lots of people, I understand, lots of people don't understand what mental health is and how it works. I get that, you know. Because thankfully people haven't suffered from it, and I'd be grateful of that. But that was egregious that she blamed that on mental health, you know, because people will now be like, oh, everything's about mental health, blah, blah. But mental health is real. It is real, and, you know, but not in this case. That's a mockery. That's a mockery. You know, this is why, because Dave was already done it. I got to admit, I woke up a little mentally unstable this morning. But that's what people say. And, you know, that's not an excuse at all. Mental health had nothing to do with what she was doing. No, that's what I mean. It has literally nothing to do with it. Even if it did, it doesn't make you lie under oath. It doesn't. You have a choice to make. Mental health does not make you do that. If she suffers from mental health, she shouldn't be out there as a cop. Situation could have been a lot. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. PTSD is way overused as an excuse or DX, in my opinion. I work with the VA. I know what PTSD looks like. 100%. People throw it out there. And as I say, there will be people who have PTSD. There will be people who suffer from various kinds of mental health issues. This case was not one of those. As in, I'm not saying that she didn't suffer from PTSD. That does not make her have to lie in court. That was a choice. She could have said beforehand, sure, what, I fucked up, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie under court and in court about it, because it literally was a ticket. She could have just wiped that ticket, but she decided no, I'm following through with it. So, see, this is why, Dave, you're fucking Dave. Dave will never change, and I don't think we want you to change, Dave. It's fine. Right. What's next? There's a few things I want to play. So, I think this is apt to play this one because of the Olympics that's just occurred. Obviously, very sad in some ways. This is a hearing of Sean Higgins. He is the accused driver who drove under the influence and killed NHL star Johnny Gaudreau, who obviously is a professional ice hockey player, and his brother Matthew Gaudreau. Authorities say they were visiting New Jersey. Yes, stand up and say you fucked. Like, I tell Sarah P all the time, because she fucks up all the time. I say, it's fine, just stand up, Sarah P. We all know you fucked up. It's fine. Right, here we go.
All right, looks like we have everyone in the room.
Oops, let me go back to the start.
All right, looks like we have everyone in the room. All right, looks like we have everyone in the room. Just want to make sure. Looks like we do. All right, perfect. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go on the record now in the matter of State of New Jersey versus Sean Higgins, coming to the court under indictment 2412 400I. Counsel, please enter your appearances.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Michael Mestrin appearing on behalf of the state.
Afternoon, Your Honor. Richard F. Kleinberger III appearing on behalf of defendant Sean Higgins, along with co-counsel.
Good afternoon, Judge. For the record, it's Matthew Portello on behalf of Mr. Higgins, along with Mr. Kleinberger. And for the record, Judge Yannick Cools, my associate's online with us as well.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. All right. Thank you, Counsel.
Good afternoon, Judge. Dylan Davis from the alternate corner, just here with Al Chatti. We've just been nosy bitches, Judge. Just wanted to have a look to see what's going on, Judge. So thank you for having us. We appreciate it. Over and out, nosy bitch.
So just housekeeping purposes for the record, I appreciate you all being able to join us by way of a Zoom link today. Obviously, we were scheduled for an in-court appearance at 1:30 this afternoon. However, due to the Chief Justice closing the physical courts again due to the snowstorm that hit yesterday, we had to move this to a remote proceeding. I know, counsel, we spoke briefly, defense counsel as well as the prosecutor the other day in an in-camera conference, but can you enlighten the court as to where we stand now? I guess I'll go to the defense first, and either Mr. Kleinberger or Mr. Portella can respond. Based upon our last conversation, it was my understanding the defense is now in possession of its expert reports. Is that correct?
One of them, Your Honor. The toxicology report has been turned over to the state with regard to the issue with the draw and testing. It seems that it was plasma that was tested, not whole blood. Based upon our expert report, that brings the actual BAC reading down to a 0.075. With regard to the accident reconstruction report, the only thing that's needed, Judge, I was going to send, was placed on the record today, and I'll send a letter following up regarding same, is the discovery that's been received by the state. They did send us all of the documentation regarding the infotainment center with the download. However, in order to do a proper evaluation and examination, we need a download of the actual, and I'll send this to the state, but it's a .ive file or raw data directly onto a USB flash drive. If we try to do what we have done in the past, downloading it through the portal, it doesn't work when they go to run it through. So I need the state police to actually place it onto a flash drive, the raw data, in the form of an IVE file, and forward that. Everything else is done regarding the accident reconstruction as opposed to that. And Judge, there has been based upon the reading of the BAC being done by way of the plasma, there has been a notice of motion to dismiss for this to be represented to the grand jury with regard to that. That motion was filed yesterday.
Judge, if I may, for the record, it's Mr. Portella, Matt Portella. Judge, I just want to confirm with Mr. Higgins that he can hear us and see us, because a guard just walked into the booth. Judge, can we just inquire of Mr. Higgins?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Sean. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
So I can't see you. It's just a black screen. I didn't know if I was on.
No, you're in. Can you hear us, Phil?
I can hear you. Yep.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Sean. Sorry, Judge.
Thanks. So, Mr. Higgins, we can hear and see you, sir.
Okay.
So, Mr. Kleinberger, you're indicating to the court that a recent motion to dismiss the entire indictment or just certain counts of the indictment?
Judge, actually, at first it was going to be, it's funny you say that, it was going to be just for the counts regarding, but the issue comes with it, and upon retrospect, I filed it for the entire indictment based upon this. If the grand jury heard that the reading was a 0.087, and when in actuality that was done based upon the plasma, and I mean, this is science. This isn't something that's speculative. There's a mathematical formula that's utilized for this, and the actual reading is a 0.075. Therefore, we don't know how much that impacted the jury when it came to the grand jury when it came to other aspects of the case. Was this guy so drunk that he did this? It taints it. To err on the side of caution, I filed it as a total motion to dismiss, but it might not apply to everything, Judge.
So, Mr. Mestern, have you received a copy of this report?
I received it late on Thursday. I was in court all day on Friday, in court yesterday, so I've seen it. I haven't really delved too deep into it, but I will be reaching out to those that did the analysis of the blood to get their opinions on it.
And thank you, Mr. Mestern. If you'll refresh the court's recollection, when this matter was presented to the grand jury, I do recall BAC levels being presented. Is that accurate?
Yes.
All right. So, assuming for the purposes of argument's sake that Mr. Kleinberger's expert and his analysis is accurate, would this be something that the state would be looking to represent?
If it's accurate, but I'm not conceding that point.
I said assuming. I didn't say it was. All right,
it wouldn't touch upon the entire indictment.
No. But as to particular counts, it may.
Maybe.
So what I'm going to suggest, counsel, is that I'm not going to ask you to file briefs or anything at all at this.
Did you see that face? If you're away from a screen and you're able to, go and watch this here. So when he says AP at the top here, he says maybe. Look at the attorney underneath him, Richard Klinenberger, his face when he says that. So if you're able to, watch the screen right now. If you can't, then tough shit.
Particular counts, it may.
Maybe.
So what I'm going to suggest, counsel, is that I'm not going to ask you to file briefs or anything at all at this time regarding your motion. We're going to hold the motion in abeyance. Mr. Mester, I'll give you an opportunity to discuss this with any state police experts that you believe are appropriate to review the blood draw, or any outside experts you believe are appropriate to review, I should say, the blood or plasma analysis. If you come to the determination that based upon the information presented, that it's appropriate to represent the matter to the grand jury with the BAC as reflected in the defense expert report, the court will allow that to happen. If you decide that it's something that you're not interested in doing, obviously then I'll schedule a briefing schedule asking the defendants to file briefs, and then you can respond to their brief. Does that sound reasonable?
It does, Your Honor. I think it would be more prudent to do the briefing schedule now, and then if I do the analysis and decide to represent it, I can let the court know and defense counsel know, and that would void any kind of briefing necessary. But just to get the ball rolling on that, it might be more prudent to do it that way.
Yeah, well, my only concern was, obviously, if we could avoid creating more work and having more additional briefs filed, if your office is going to merely represent the matter, I'd rather hold off on those briefs. So I'm going to hold that Mr. Kleinberger, Mr. Portello's motion in abeyance at this time. I'm not going to ask that they file any briefs, but I am going to ask that if we can get a quick turnaround from your office's position with regard to the defense expert, that would be helpful.
Very well, Your Honor.
Now to the next issue that we briefly talked about, and we've been talking about for the last year plus. Has the defense proffered a counteroffer? And I'm not asking you to place it on the record at this point, but have you actually presented a counteroffer to the state at this time?
Judge, we have presented the counteroffer. We'll put it in writing, sent it to Mr. Mestern. We emailed it this morning, Judge. And we won't put the terms on the record, Judge, but we did include the extensive research that we did for other cases that are similar factually to Mr. Higgins's matter, and the results that came about by virtue of plea bargaining with the state, Judge. And that is a 4-page letter that has that information in it for the state to keep in mind, and to frame it in terms of our counteroffer, what the state has done and what offers it has given to similarly situated defendants on their cases in the past.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Portello. Mr. Mestern, you are in possession of that document?
I am, Your Honor.
And obviously, I would ask that we discuss this further with the understanding that given the fact that now the defense has actually provided a counteroffer, which had not existed up until this point, it may also obviate the need to either represent the matter or litigate the motion. So I'll leave that to counsel to discuss between themselves. If the counsel feels as though the court needs to engage or involve itself in plea negotiations, obviously the court would be happy to entertain that, but I'll leave those discussions to happen between yourselves. Okay, counsel?
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, just could we get an idea as to turnaround for that, the download? Like I said, the state did provide the, I guess it's the text data, the way it downloads to the portal. You can't utilize that for running a test. So, for example, in a colloquial term, I would view it as it's like looking at a strand of code. So, they could attempt to recreate it, but it's not going to be accurate in order for them to say that it was the exact copy. So all we need is and I'll send it to the state as soon as we're off, but it's the exact copy of the raw data or it's called an IVE file.
Mr. Mester, are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I believe there was a thumb drive sent out in the initial discovery or sometime thereafter. But if I can get a letter with the specifics from counsel, and that way I can submit it to the state to police to see, it's a technical aspect that is outside the realm of my expertise. And so I'll reach out to the state police for them to take a look at the request.
All right, Mr. Kleinberger, you'll follow up in writing then.
As soon as we're done, Judge, I have it waiting here. I just want to place it on the record first before I sent it out. That's all.
All right, yeah, it sounds like a technical issue. Obviously, I don't expect Mr. Mester to be completely familiar with that. So once he speaks to the parties at the state police who may have further knowledge in that area, if they can provide that, I'm sure he will absolutely get that for you and turn it over as it is discoverable. So, counsel, other than what we've discussed, is there any other issue that any of the parties would like to address at this point?
No, Judge.
No, Judge. Thank you.
Right. So this was listed for a discretionary conference today. I'm inclined to move it to the pretrial conference list as we've had significant movement at this point with regard to counteroffer as well as expert reports at least being available regarding the blood draw and soon to be available regarding the accident reconstruction. I'll just ask counsel, how long do you think you're going to want to have before we bring it back for our first PTC? I'll start with the defense.
It depends, Judge, on the motion to dismiss. What's going on with that?
And how quickly you can get the additional discovery from the state police if they're going to turn it over.
All right, which is going to take some time, I would suspect, Mr. Mestern.
Well, Your Honor, with the motion to dismiss, hopefully we'll have an answer to counsel and Your Honor within a week with regards to the information, the technical information. I'm not too sure, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks for that. I'm not too sure if their defense expert, is going to need time to digest and do a report. It seems like he hasn't really done much with the data that was provided. So
we have a report done already, Judge. That's the last piece needed. We utilize the everything else that was there on scene. So we have a report done. This is the only piece that's missing. My expert did not feel comfortable putting forth the report unless they can compare the data that was received from the state in the form of the copy of the download to an actual download. That's it. That's the last thing. So once we have that, that's it. But I could tell the court that there is issues, factual issues that will be brought up already, but we just want to make sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted here.
Understood, Mr. Kleinberger. So I suspect a return date of bringing it back on March 10th will be premature. Probably a little too soon.
Probably too early.
Yeah, Judge. And I'm not available that day either. Yeah.
Okay, give me a moment.
Judge, would this be for a status type date to see where we are with regard to the state representing or not and the discovery?
So we're actually going to move it to a pretrial conference. Right. With regard to all those other things, they should occur between today's date and the next date. I don't see any reason why things cannot get done between counsel. If things need to be addressed sometime with the court, you can just reach out to the court and I'd be happy to conduct, an in-camera conference at that point. But I'm looking at now a return date, if everything works out with council schedules, of April the 7th.
I am available that day.
Judge, could we do 1:30 on that day?
We can absolutely do one.
Your Honor, I'm not available that day.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Mestern, you're not available. All right. Let's take a look then at some other dates. How about in the PM on Friday the 10th?
That whole week I'm out.
Oh, you're out that whole week?
That's my birthday, Judge. But I'm out.
We don't want to disrupt your birthday, Mr. Portella.
Yeah, I'll be out.
All right. Let's look at then Tuesday the 14th.
That works, Judge.
1:30?
I have jury duty. If I get
you have jury duty
selected, but
the question is whether you even get called in for jury duty.
Yeah,
and I'm sure if you let the court know that you have a scheduled mandatory court appearance on that date, that they would excuse you for that day.
Judge, I'll call the jury management on that. Good excuse to get out of it, right?
Well, I mean, we're not looking to get you an excuse to get out of it, but on that particular day,
Just
I'm sure
that
they
day,
can
yeah.
I'm sure they can reschedule you for another day, Mr. Portella.
I'll take care of that today, Judge.
So we go for 4/14 at 1:30 p.m. And Mr. Mestern, that works for you?
That should work for me. I have a trial scheduled for that week, but I'll once we get closer, I'll have a better idea as to whether.
Yeah, I mean that's a month and a half from now, so we don't. You never know what's going to happen between now and then. So at this point, we'll go for 4/14 at 1:30 for the first pretrial conference.
And just for the record, it's in person, obviously, yes.
It will be in person at 1:30. And counsel, please keep me apprised if you need anything. If there's going to be a decision by the state to represent, obviously let the court know and continue to let the court know if there are any discovery issues. Mr. Kleinberger, if you'll alert the court once you receive that technical information that you're looking for, this way the court's aware that you have it.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And then obviously alert the court as to when you provide Mr. Mestern with with your defense expert report.
Okay, let's go. I found something here. It might be interesting. So let's put this on. This might be interesting. I don't know. These are like things that are being clipped and put on.
Case number 2.
Hang on. Let me get it. Let me get it up, but I have an issue. Right, here we go.
Case number 25CR43041, the State of Ohio versus Stefan Scott. Mr. Scott is before the court with his counsel, Mr. Ernst. Ms. Nicholson, on behalf of the State of Ohio, we're here for sentencing. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Nicholson, anything on behalf of the state?
Your Honor, first, the victim's mother is present, and she would like to address the court. I'll let her go first.
Your Honor, the man being sentenced today has committed this crime multiple times. This is not a one-time mistake. It was a repeated, deliberate act. Even while facing charges in this case, he committed the same type of offense again. That shows a clear pattern and a refusal to change his behavior. What he did to my daughter has had lasting effects. She was simply doing her job when she was sexually violated. Since that day, she has experienced anxiety about going to work. She has had nightmares. Her sense of safety was taken from her in a place where she should have felt secure, especially as a teenager. No one should have to fear being sexually exposed to while working. No family should
Sexually exposed as a teenager. Wow, okay. Let me move myself. Right, here we go.
have to watch their child struggle with anxiety because someone chose to repeatedly act in a sexually aggressive and unlawful way. We are deeply concerned that without serious consequences, this behavior will continue and may escalate. His history shows that lighter consequences have not stopped him. We respectfully ask the court to sentence him to the fullest extent allowed by the law. Accountability is necessary not only for my daughter, but to protect other women in this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
The state agrees that this is a continued pattern of conduct that has not been altered by previous consequences. He has convictions in May of 2019, May of 2023. He had the offense, which is now a conviction, in November of 2025 in Lebanon Municipal Court that occurred days after being arraigned, in this case, in the lower court, where he was given no bond and was walked in on the warrant, a bond was not set, and days later he committed the offense that was charged out of Lebanon Municipal Court. His record shows that he had been off probation just over 2 weeks out of the Brown County case when he committed this offense. I think the statements made in the pre-sentence investigation show a complete lack of accountability on his part, taking responsibility for his conduct. And based on all of that, the state would be asking for the maximum period of incarceration. The court is not required to impose community control in this case, and I believe the defendant's history shows that he is not amenable or appropriate for community control. Additionally, if the court were to find that community control is appropriate, we would ask that he have a no contact so that the victim can go to work and have some peace of mind. Additionally, in further looking at the jail time credit, I believe he is entitled to 4 days of jail time credit in this case. He walked in on the warrant and was given no bond no bond was set in the Warren County Court, and he was never taken into custody. He was arrested on November 2nd for the Lebanon Municipal Court case. At his arraignment on November 21st, in the Common Pleas Court after indictment, he was issued a cash bond out of this case, which he then posted and was released on monitor on November 25th. And so he was not held on any bond related to this incident until November 21st of 2025.
Thank you. Anything from probation?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Ernst?
So I've been in pretty constant contact with Stefan since this happened. He did do jail time, whether there's credit or wherever it happened.
Dave, stop fat shaming that young boy. He's not me. I'm bigger than him. Dave. You bastard, David.
It did create within him a change, Your Honor, and it's kind of as follows. If you recall, in this case, we did ask to modify his release to allow him to go to work. He is employed at PAX here in town, and he got with child support. He has a 7-year-old son that he's current on child support. They have worked with him to allow him to become employed, and he's current there. There's some things that adversely affected him during this time, and particularly during the time he was incarcerated. Up till now, he's not been able to see his 7-year-old son, and his mother of his child is not against him. She's not filed anything. He has been without now for 4 months. The ability to participate in the sports that he was doing before this happened, as he's able to with Faith Building Church here up by the Y. He's really stressed to me a need to further that with being able to go to church to develop the community. He's researched these things. Throughout this event and what's happened here, there has been a change that he has stressed repeatedly. He will engage in counseling. Those 4 things, I think, are something that's different than what.
Just so people know, like Sarah P knows because, she knows the sizes of penises and stuff like that. So I'm sure she's seen his and compared it to mine, and she thinks that he's got a bigger one than me. So thanks for confirming that, Sarah P. I've only got a small one. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah P. Sarah P. Sarah P. P. Sarah P. Sarah P. Sarah P. Loves penises. Right. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Badazza. Right, here we go.
What's happened to him before, where he has made a decision in his mind that he needs to address this, and will follow any recommendations you make. This has had a deprivation of his ability to help raise his son. That hurts. We respect everything that's been said to you today. I believe he supports me in what I just told you. Is that right, Stefan?
Mr. Scott, is there anything you'd like to say before I pronounce sentence?
I just would like to say I'm sorry. I've been trying to change. I haven't been able to go back to church, and I think that I just been every night I think about this. It's always on my mind. I know the pain that I caused. I just want to make it right. And I'm so sorry.
Court has considered anything else? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I don't want to continue to live a life of sin. I'm better than that. I know I am. I haven't seen my son in 4 months, but the consequences of my actions. I just want to make things right and be there for my son. And I just don't want to let any more people down.
Court has considered the statements made here today, the pre-sentence investigation, the purposes and the principles of sentencing, the relevant seriousness and recidivism factors. Mr. Scott, I read the statement that you gave during your pre-sentence investigation. Do you want to explain that to me?
I'm sorry, sir.
The written statement that you provided to court services during your pre-sentence investigation. I want you to reconcile that, what you said in that statement to me, to what you're saying now.
Yes, sir. I have a bad case of eczema. I'm not blaming it on eczema. It was my actions. I took the food and I immediately left. I was embarrassed. My face was plastered all over Facebook and Instagram.
Again, I don't understand what the eczema has to do with you masturbating in front of a 15-year-old girl. And the other problem.
What? The what? He's saying eczema made him masturbate in front of a 15-year-old girl. The fuck?
That I'm going to have you address is that this isn't the first time. This is the fourth time that you've been caught. I just wonder how many times that you've done it and the person was too embarrassed to even come forward to acknowledge that this happened to them. Putting these young girls, exposing yourself, not just exposing yourself, literally masturbating in front of a young lady that's working, for crying out loud. Reconcile that for the person that you claim to be now standing before me. You need to reconcile that to me because right now my mind's going, well, this is the fourth time you've been caught. I'm guessing you've done it. People that drive drunk and get caught. And that's not the first time they did it. It's the first time they get caught. People stealing. It's never, you don't get caught every time you do something. So you try to reconcile with what the person that you're trying to represent to me today, reconcile that with the person that is in this report.
I'm trying to understand, like, what are you trying to?
Well, you're trying to represent yourself that, hey, it's a wake up call for me.
Okay. I
I got the message, Judge. This will never happen again. It really wasn't a sexual thing. It was eczema that caused me to scratch myself to the point where I ejaculate. That's pretty hard to believe.
No, sir. I understand what you're saying, sir.
Okay. Now, I'm going to give you one last opportunity.
Yes, sir. When I was locked up, I don't go to jail like that. I don't go to jail at all. When I got locked up for those 24 days, I've seen so many things. I was already a believer, but when I went into jail, the people that surrounded me with, the people that I've seen in church, the famous people that came and talked to us, gave me cards and little things that I could take with me on the outside to keep it together when I'm on the outside. So while I was in there, I formed prayer groups every night. It took a while to do that, but I feel like that was a calling. I feel like that the Lord put me in there to wake me up. That was my wake-up call. He was with me the entire time I was in there. People around me even felt it, and I was trying to, everything we did after we ate or before we ate, before we went to bed, we prayed. I'm focused on God. My wake-up call is God. Lord, I don't want to live a life of sin anymore, going down a path of nowhere. I know I'm better than that. I know what my calling is. I feel His presence, and this isn't. I've always been a believer, but I feel like He's put me in that position to where I could only turn to Him.
Have you ever undergone any type of counseling?
When I was in school as a kid with ADHD, but that's about it. I was talking to the therapist in probation, not a therapist, but the woman who does the packet with me. She's told me about people and solutions that I said I was interested in, because she recommended me to do counseling, and I thought that was a good idea.
And you've engaged in that counseling?
I'm sorry. Yes, online, yes, but I didn't have a job because I didn't have work release, so I'd have to pay for it. But I did do 4 classes online. I talked to people at Talbot House. They said they're willing to take me after my situation.
This has been now almost 6 years since your first conviction. You had one in 2019, one in 2023, and then one since this case started. You yet got another conviction for the same type of behavior. Why wasn't counseling something that you sought? If you know you have a mental health problem, again, whether that's it is a recognized under the DSM-5 mental health disorder, but why wasn't counseling sought earlier?
I've never had anybody to talk to. When I talked to probation, the woman who talked to me put me in the right direction. I never thought it was something that I needed till I heard it from her, and the things that we talked about the police and how, things in my past. She said, I think you need counseling because this is a recurring thing. And I realize now that I'm at home, I can't walk around without looking out the window. She explained to me these things are not normal. Me, growing up, I always thought it was normal in the environment that I grew up in. Realizing what she has told me, I feel like
you thought this was normal behavior?
No, when I like the things that we talked about, like when I walk around in my house, I have to peek out the window or just do things that normal people don't do. And she said that is a cause from certain past trauma. And when she started explaining that to me, I agreed that I do need therapy. I never considered it until we went and dug in my past, is what I was trying to say.
You get health insurance now?
I do, with my job, yes.
That's one of the things we talked about, was getting his insurance reestablished through this company to then get those things set up and have the funds to pay those.
All right.
Your Honor, I would just, in brief response, I would just note that the Talbot House assessment was completed January 15th of 2026, and the statement he made as a part of his PSI was January 10th of 2026, which were 6 weeks or more after his incarceration, and that don't reference anything that he's talking about here today before.
The assessment was separate. I called for the information that she gave me to Talbot House. I never did an assessment. I called.
Oh, you did an assessment?
I did do an assessment, yes, sir. But that was before I had a meeting with her. She basically gave me, hey, you should go over there and talk to this person at this place and get therapy from this person. That's basically what I was saying.
And you did that?
I called, yes, but I can't do anything while I'm on house arrest or doing this case.
Who told you that?
I can't. I can only leave for court privileges and work.
Well, that's certainly not true. If all you had to do was call community corrections and say, hey, I've got a counseling appointment, can I go? And they would say, Mr. Henry, what would they say?
They would say, as soon as you get his verification, you're good to go.
Yeah, that's all it takes is a phone call. Yeah, that's simply not true. Yeah, Mr. Scott, there's nothing that you have said today that convinces me, and again, whether this, I'm not going to get into a discussion as to whether this is a mental health disorder or not. The DSM certainly recognizes it as such, but I don't think you've gotten the message. I mean, you, and again, my mind keeps going back to, and again, the 2 prior convictions and then getting a conviction while this case was pending. I cannot imagine for the life of me, knowing that you're under indictment on a felony charge for this offense, going out and doing the same thing. I mean, that just completely blows my mind. I'm going to make a finding today, sir, based upon the information I have, that you are not amenable to community control and that prison is now necessary to fulfill the purposes and principles of sentencing, primarily punishment and deterrence. So if you think the 24 days in jail for the Lebanon Municipal Court case got your attention, I think I'm going to get it now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order you to serve 10 months in prison The reason I'm not ordering you to serve 12 months, the maximum, is because you did enter a plea and did not make this young lady go through the trauma of having to relive that whole thing in front of 12 strangers. So you're going to serve 10 months in prison. You get credit for the 4 days you served on this case, even though you served 24 days in jail. The 20 of those days are going to be credited to your Lebanon Municipal Court case. Now, the court does make a finding that the prison is necessary based upon the extensive prior history of this particular offense. Obviously, you haven't responded to any type of sanctions that the court has imposed previously, and that you just continue to engage in the same type of behavior. So that will be the court's finding. You're also subject to a discretionary period of post-release control, which means on your release from prison, the adult parole authority may supervise you for up to 2 years. If you violate those terms of supervision, the adult parole authority can return you to prison for up to 1/2 of this court's original sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year or the period that you have left on post-release control, whichever is longer, and that time would run consecutive to any additional prison time that you get sentenced to. The court does find that you are indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or other financial sanctions. Now, there may be opportunities for you to receive up to 1 day per month for participating in any programs that are sponsored by the Department of Corrections. Finally, you have a right to appeal the court's decision if you're sentenced to the 12th District Court of Appeals. If you want to appeal, you must file your notice of appeal within 30 days of today's date. If you can't afford to pay for the transcript or anything necessary for your appeal, that can all be provided to you at no cost. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will provide one to you at no cost. Ms. Nicholson, is there anything else?
You waived the fines and costs?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Mr. Ernst?
No, Your Honor.
All right. This time, Mr. Scott, your bond is revoked. You are now remanded into the custody of the Warren County Sheriff's Office for transport to the Department of Corrections. This time, there's a couple of deputies standing behind you. They're going to take you into custody. That's all.
Call State of Texas versus Tory Morgan. That is you. This is a cap of 10 years imprisonment. So it's a first-degree felony. You are looking at no less than 5, no more than 10 years confinement in prison. Deferred or unadjudicated probation can be allowed. Is regular probation also an option here in this case? I'm not aware it's not.
I think it is, Judge.
I think you can be sentenced up to 10 years in prison, and that could be suspended, and you could be placed on regular probation, but that's a conviction. I'm looking at this pre-sentence report. How old was the child here?
16, Judge.
16? Okay.
This situation, let me just first of all say that we're asking for deferred adjudication because she has no recorded criminal history whatsoever. This was a situation where she was, as acknowledged in the pre-sentence report, was personally involved in prostitution and working out of one of these hotels in Dolmont where they're well known for prostitution activities. The little girl, the 16-year-old, was there doing the same thing at the same time. As indicated in the report, they met up, and this lady, obviously having more experience in this line of work, was helping her with advertising between the two of them, and they were participating in proceeds from that. The biggest problem was we had an underage person that was involved in it, and she wasn't aware that she was underage at the time. Told Ms. Morgan that she was of legal age, and basically they were just participating in this illicit activity together. It's not a good thing. It never has been. But, unfortunately, it's the nature of the world. She does not have a criminal history. She realizes that it was wrong. She also realizes, as stated in the pre-sentence report, that she would like to get her life together herself, and maybe find something a whole lot better to do in life than this. And I think she's expressed a good deal of remorse about this, with the idea that she wants to clean up herself as well as showing remorse for what happened here. No criminal history as far as crimes of any sort. Eligible for deferred adjudication probation. We think she's worth an opportunity to give her a shot at doing it. So we're asking for.
State.
it's hard to say what's the right thing to do with a scenario like this. It is true that she has no felony court history. But to really hang your hat on that is, in my mind, is a mistake, because she admits to all kinds of criminal conduct that should have been charged. So even, the bottom line is, this is just the first time she got caught. What she's done here is been deliberately ignorant about what somebody's age was and got a 16-year-old involved in the same criminal conduct, which is why this is an offense. It's why it's a first-degree felony. So when we look at that, the legislature, when they wrote it up, didn't say, well, on first-time offenders, we're always going to do X. You got to look at each situation and consider what is appropriate. To say that this happens at a known place where this occurs, I don't agree with that statement either. Unfortunately, crimes occur in our county, and this is one of them. And when it comes down to when we're going to determine what's the right thing to do, this lady assisted a 16-year-old to post nude photographs of herself online to encourage grown men to come and have sex with her. That's why I wasn't going to offer probation. That's why I made a cap agreement, because I can't in good conscience say that somebody that does that with a teenager, if you don't like the word child, to say that that's okay, and that we're going to say that when that occurs, that the right thing to do is say, oh, well, I didn't know how old she was. And no, I've never been caught before, so let me have probation. Because I'm planning on standing in this courtroom on cases that involve same or similar facts, I want to stay consistent. And to me, this warrants prison time.
Okay. Was not aware this person was underage, and this person also was doing it on her own before the two got involved. It's not like she trafficked her into that business. They were both there engaging in prostitution. They just started working together, which is no excuse, but certainly, in my opinion, does not warrant prison time on a first offense like this. I say give her a shot. I think she's been very forthcoming in her statements about her life, the problems that she's had, and she really wants to clean up her life, as well as quit doing this, not just involving this other person, but involving herself as well. And I think the best way to do it is give her a shot at it. And that's what deferred does. When you're looking at a first degree felony, if she messes up on deferred adjudication, I mean, that's up to anywhere from 5 years to life in prison. So I think that's a pretty big hammer hanging over her head. But I think it's worth a shot, and she's worth a chance at redemption.
Anything you want to say?
If I would have known that girl was not 18, that whole situation would have went completely different.
In what way?
I definitely wouldn't have posted her, and definitely would have took different precautions after I had helped her get her things from.
But you would have continued the prostitution ring going if she was older than a child, right? That's what you were doing. You were running a prostitution ring, weren't you? Oh, you weren't? I'm sorry. You created and posted online advertisements on Skip the Games, a website known for prostitution, advertising both you and the child. You admitted to requesting and posting nude photographs of the child, which were used in the advertisements. Is my probation officer false and misleading me, or is that true?
That is true.
Yeah, you were running a prostitution ring. Thank you for helping the quality of Beaumont get better. This is what this city is supposed to stand for? Prostitution? Vice? Well, you were responsible for it. You were the madam. No, too many good people are in this town, in this county. We don't need people like you who just think it should be used for immoral purposes only. That's immoral. So you do it anyway. You're trying to say, I didn't realize she was younger than 18, so let me go home. You kind of drag down what we're all trying to keep maintained, and that is a quality of life. So people can come to this county and enjoy life in spite of you. You understand, but you.
Sarah P says, Beaumont, that's about 2 hours from me. So does she, you probably know her then, Sarah. You probably run the same circles, do you? Is this the madam that you know personally? Have you worked with her? I'm joking, by the way. It's pretty sickening. Obviously, an underage girl taking part. But also, the judge needs to remember he's supposed to sentence her by discretion of the law, not his morals.
Continue to do it.
That's not what I want for my life anymore.
It's not what you want. Why? Because you got caught. It wasn't your choice. No, you got caught. This wasn't your choice. Then you're just worried about you. Well, how about the child that you misled, and corrupted? Any remorse for that, her soul and her life?
Major.
Yeah, well, you promoted her. You know better.
Yeah, there's no excuse, but I think, again, she was very forthcoming about her family history as well. And I think it says a lot, the way she was raised, that she's been in foster care since she was 12 years old herself, because both of her parents were incarcerated. You know, she didn't.
How did that work out for you?
She didn't grow up with very good
how did that
parents.
work out for you?
Not the greatest.
Well, so why would you make life miserable for someone else if you knew that wasn't the quality of life? All right.
It's not a very good role model. But anyway, again, it's no excuse, but just maybe an explanation of how she got involved in these type of things.
Anything else?
Got the law enforcement's attention was the 2-for-1 special they were running, posting on Skip the Games. So I looked to see if that information was highlighted in the PSI. And
Where she and the child would work together.
Yes, sir.
In the sexual act.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, I think we feel dirty enough already talking about all of this.
Thank you, Jim.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
I am following this agreement. You are, which is a cap of 10 years imprisonment. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institution of division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. What is the price? What is right of the loss of innocence of a child? I keep repeating that. That was your fault. That was yours. You, by marketing her for sexual purposes and making money off of it. Shame on you. You hurt this city and county. We stand for something of more of a quality of life than that. That is immoral. It's illegal. And you were the madam. You were the person responsible for it. You were the organizer and the manager of it. Shame on you. But shame on anybody who promotes prostitution. You understand what's happened? That is all.
Your Honor, may I ask the court to consider withholding imposition of the sentence and placing her on regular probation?
Yeah, I've considered that. You organized it. You think that is what that's what this court stands for, is making light out of that? No. When we catch you, you're going to be prosecuted. You're going to be punished. Shame on you. Shame on you. It has a price. It has a value, which our Creator gave. You should never take that away. Shame. But you will pay a price, and anyone in your situation on my watch will. We stand for something better than that in this area. Shame. We're setting good examples as best we can in spite of you. You need to fix your mess.
I wanted to, Your Honor.
No, it's just not you. You're harming others. Children. That's why you're sentenced. That is all. Here. Thank you.
I didn't think she'd get 10 years, if I'm being honest with you. I hope the judge hasn't got any skeletons in his cupboard with how moral he is. I did think that she would get jail time, but I thought 10
For
years.
today.
Anyway, there you go. Fuck around and find out, I suppose. Right, here we go. Here's another one.
For today, those reports have been completed and the state's prepared to proceed with sentencing.
You are required to register in person with the sheriff of the county in which you establish residency within 3 days of coming into that county, or if temporary domiciled for more than 3 days. To register, failure to verify residence at specified times, or failure to provide notice of change in residence address or other required information as described above will result in a criminal prosecution.
All right, Mr. Mastandrea, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Rod Mastandrea on behalf of Mr. Kreider. Your Honor, there's not much to say here other than I do want to say that my client is profoundly sorry for all of the actions and transgressions that have happened here. I'd like the court to know that all of the sentiments that are going to be echoed here in the sentencing memorandum, my client certainly is going to spend the rest of his life trying to atone for this. Whether or not he ever will be able to do that, I don't know, but I know that he certainly is very, very sorry. To that end, Your Honor, we would just like you to consider running any sentence that this court may impose concurrently, and we would ask that the court consider everything in the sentencing memorandum about my client. He's already 61 years old. He would like an opportunity in the twilight of his life, for any amount of time that is, to be around people that love him or around his family and continue to make those amends as much as he can. He understands that that's probably going to be a very, very far-fetched idea, but certainly my client cannot be more and more profoundly sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kreider, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
I'm sorry for everything. Sorry for everything.
Anything further you'd like to say?
Sorry to everybody that's involved.
Saleshi?
Thank you, Your Honor. Prior to addressing the court, the victim's mother would like to speak.
All right, would you just state your name and tell me whatever you want me to know?
Valerie Ruff.
Okay.
Am I allowed to read it?
Yeah.
I can't believe we are here. I don't wish this on anyone. It's very hard as a parent to watch your child go through something like this. I hope you run. I put it on the aisle. You don't get that pleasure anymore. You make me sick to my stomach. So I hope you rot and karma gets you for everything that you did to her.
Thank you. Saleshi?
Thank you, Your Honor. In this case, it's difficult to imagine how this could be much worse. The defendant was the victim's biological father, someone who should love, protect, and care for the victim at all costs. And the victim was, and still is, just a child. She was someone who was vulnerable, dependent, and trusting of the defendant. And instead of being the parent, the man that he should have been, he abused her. And this went on for years.
That's bull. Thank you. Stop. Sorry.
He would put...
You will have a chance. I'll give you another chance to talk, but right now, she's up. Got it? Go ahead.
This went on for over 5 years. The harm in this case extends beyond just physical. We don't need a psychiatrist or a psychologist to come in here and say that the victim will endure lifelong emotional trauma as a result of this. She already is in therapy. Her childhood, her sense of security, and her trust in the most fundamental human relationship in her life were taken from her. And the victim in this case was not just young, and she was profoundly innocent. One thing that stood out to me when I was evaluating this case was when I reviewed the victim's cell phone extraction, which had a search history that was asking if Santa was real. I think that single search is a glimpse, a heartbreaking window into just exactly how old and how innocent she was at the time that this happened. She was a little girl trying to understand the world, seeking answers about Santa Claus, and that stark contrast could not be more disturbing. I recognize that the defendant took some accountability by pleading and avoiding having to put the victim through a trial in this case, but he still continues to minimize his conduct. In the pre-sentence report, he stated he did not put his blank in her, and given his response here in court, he said, "That's bull," when I mentioned what exactly happened. When asked what he did do, he said he played with her, he guesses. And when asked how long this went on, he said a little while. There's no sentence that this court could impose that can undo the damage the defendant has caused here. But this court can ensure a punishment that reflects the seriousness of the defendant's conduct and protects the community from an offender who betrayed every conceivable duty as a parent and a human being. The charges the defendant pled to in this case do not merge. The state is asking for a maximum consecutive sentence. I understand, I recognize, and I appreciate that this will be virtually a life sentence for the defendant. But I think anything less would be a life sentence for the victim. She deserves to graduate high school, to go to college or start a career, to start a family if that's something she wants, without having to worry about where the defendant is or what he's doing. A maximum aggregate sentence here would not be disproportionate to the defendant's conduct, and we would ask that the state impose such sentence. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kreider. You indicated when Ms. Alessi started talking, when she was talking about the activity, you said that's bull. So now's your opportunity to say whatever it is you want to say in response to that.
No.
What?
No.
No? Okay. Well, it's my recollection that you pled guilty with the activity outlined by Ms. Alessi. Now you're telling me that you didn't, by your statement, that's bull. It kind of indicates that you didn't do those things.
I didn't do some of that.
What?
I didn't do.
When you were presented with the paperwork to provide your written version of what occurred, you did not return that. You indicated to the corrections staff that you could not read or write and could not fill out the pre-sentence questionnaire. Is that true?
Yes.
It is. You're aware that your phone, the information on your phone was extracted, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pretty proficient on the use of texts. Is that right?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Well, I
I speak it, and it puts,
Okay, so you use that voice activation?
yeah.
Okay. And so when the victim says on 2/27/25, I can't come this weekend, I can't call, you then speak into the phone, why not? Right?
Yeah.
No, you didn't? Well,
Yeah.
somebody's got your phone then, or what?
Yeah, I said, yeah.
Okay. And then the victim says, I'm on the bus. And your response by voice activation, why can't you come this weekend, right? And then immediately after that, and don't tell me you're going over a friend's house because that ain't gonna fly. That was your response, right?
I don't remember, but
Well, I'm reading it.
Yeah.
This is
No, that's
information provided to you and your attorney by the state from your phone extraction. So you responded that way. Then she says, I have to help my grandma clean and do other stuff. And you say, whatever. Victim, I do not know why you are getting mad. Question mark. Because it happens all the time. Victim, I'm going to bed because I have a headache and I'm very tired. Good night. Your response? Good night. So you seem to be able to read exactly what she's texting to you before you respond, because all your responses are appropriate for the nature of the conversation. Isn't that correct?
yes.
Okay. So you can read.
No, I can't.
You can't.
It reads it to me.
Okay. All right. How is it that you're able to navigate the internet and go to some of those most vile websites with links that you clicked on?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You have no idea what I'm talking about. Well, yes, you do. Okay.
Actually, I don't.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'll give you an example. On 2/28/22 at 5:47 and 21 seconds, you click on a link. There are countless websites, countless links that you clicked on and went to. Did you not?
I might have.
You might have. It's something
Probably
that,
did.
what, escapes your memory?
I probably did.
You definitely did.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going halfway there. You're going halfway here with everything. Okay. As Ms. Alessi indicated in your pre-sentence report, you indicate that you didn't do the things she said you did, right? That's what you told the PO, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay. That you just played with her a little bit. What does that mean exactly? What does that, tell me what that means. Quit your crying and tell me what that means.
Messed around with her.
Okay. Tell me what that means. You tell me what specific activity you engaged in with that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 and 14-year-old girl. Tell me.
Stuff I shouldn't have done.
What? What did you do?
Touched her.
Touched her how?
Inappropriate.
Okay. See, you won't say. Okay? You won't say what you did. You won't admit to yourself what you did.
It shouldn't have happened.
So of course it shouldn't have happened. It's your daughter, for God's sake. Of course it shouldn't have happened. Now you come here, you profess to take accountability and responsibility for what you've done, and you don't take one bit of responsibility for what you did because you can't even admit what you did.
Sorry.
You're sorry. Empty words, because you're not sorry. If you were sorry, you would admit what you did, but you won't do it. Just like you might have gone on these websites, right?
I did go on the website.
Right. Finally, an admission to something. You you had a suspicion, you're perceptive enough to have had the suspicion that when she was calling you toward the end of this nonsense, that she was on speakerphone and other people were listening. And you begged her over and over not to tell anybody, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Why did you beg her not to tell anybody?
Because I was going to get in trouble.
You were going to get in trouble. Okay. So that your primary concern was for you
No.
not to get in trouble. Right?
Yes, and I wanted her to talk to her to work it out. But
To work what out?
So I don't mess with her anymore.
Why didn't you just stop doing it? What did you need to work out with her such that you would stop messing with her anymore? Why didn't you just do it?
That's what I was going to do.
You were going to do.
I thought I was going
Okay,
to talk to
I
her.
don't want to hear the answer to what you were gonna do. Why didn't you stop?
I was going to.
You were going. When were you going to?
When I talked to her.
Great. That's a great plan after 6 years of this shit. Miss Aleshi was 100% correct when she said that she couldn't imagine there's anything more vile than what you did. I can't imagine what goes through somebody's mind that does that. Now, you came here when you had a chance to talk and said through your crocodile tears that you're sorry. Okay? Now, when you were talking to the probation officer and compiling this report, not one time did you express anything that indicated you gave a damn about the situation that your daughter was in. Your daughter was in during these 6 years and will be in for the remainder of her life. All you care about, okay, all you professed to the probation officer to care about was getting out in 10 years. You know why that is? Because you're a selfish person. You were a selfish person with your daughter, and you remain selfish to this day. Not so. You are very selfish. You're the definition of selfish. All you give a damn about is you. Not true. Not true. Very true. I love her. Yeah. That's ridiculous. Okay. That's an offensive statement that you love her. Okay. After you did what you did to her for all those years. So don't give me that crap. Anything else you want to say? All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report, reviewed the victim impact statement. I've listened to Ms. Rux. You can remain seated.
All right. Sorry, Judge.
It's all right. I have reviewed and considered all the information in the sentencing memorandum, considered what the defendant has said, what Mr. Mastandrea has said, what Ms. Aleshi has said. And I've considered all the provisions of 292911, 292912, 292913, and 292914. On count 13, I'm going to impose a prison sentence of 60 months. On count 14, I'm going to impose a prison sentence of 60 months. On count 6, I'm going to impose a prison sentence of 10 years up to life. On count 7, I'm going to impose a sentence of 10 years up to life. And these sentences will be consecutive to one another. And that's because consecutive service is necessary to protect the public from future crime by you and for the appropriate punishment. And they are not disproportionate to your activity that you engaged in, to that seriousness, and to the danger you pose to the public. Now, there were you pled guilty to 4 offenses, 4 separate offenses. So they were committed as part of one or more course of conduct that went on for upwards of 6 years. And the harm caused by you to your daughter by at least 2 of these offenses committed were so great or unusual that no single prison term for any of the offenses committed as part of that course of conduct adequately reflects the seriousness of your conduct. So, and I have, just because it seems to be a specific issue, considered the overall length of this sentence. Now, when you get out, you will be on post-release control for 5 years under the parole authority with conditions. If you do not follow their conditions, they could return you to prison as part of this sentence for 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. If that violation is a new felony, then you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for the violation, the maximum of which would be the greater of 12 months or the time left under your post-release control. Now, since I gave you a maximum consecutive sentence, you have a right to appeal that sentence to the 11th District Court of Appeals. You have the right to have a lawyer represent you in the appeal. If you can't afford one, one will be provided free of cost to you. You have a right to have a transcript of the hearings. If you can't afford them, then they'll be given to you free of charge, and you have a right to have a timely notice of appeal filed on your behalf. The costs are assessed and the remaining charges are dismissed. Is there anything else, Ms. Alessi?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Andrea?
Your Honor, at this time, I do believe that my client is going to be indigent and would request that you appoint someone for that appeal.
All right, I will appoint the Lake County Public Defender for the appeal.
Thank you.
I might, one more and I might leave it then. This is the Ohio woman recorded child sex video on her phone. This happened. This came out a day ago, so.
That is you in the video, correct?
That's Haley Campbell in the hot seat being questioned about videos involving children and sex acts.
Obviously, yeah. Okay.
But I was forced to do
I know, and we're going to get into that.
I go through the disturbing police interview, and I'll tell you where Haley Campbell is now. I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix.
Dave, he mentioned parole in the sense of once he gets out. Once he gets out of prison, I don't know. I don't know what it was as a maximum consecutive. He basically what he was allowed to give him, he maxed it out. So if he does see the light of day again, then he would be on parole.
You know, this is an incredibly disturbing case, and there's a reason why I can tell you about it. We have an incredible partner in Morgan & Morgan. If you're ever and a cyber tip that landed on a detective's desk. This case takes us to Greene County, Ohio, just east of Dayton. In July of 2024, Xenia Police got a referral from ICAC. That's the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. The tip? Someone had uploaded a video, and that video showed a woman performing a sex act while a child slept in the same bed. Detectives traced that video to an apartment in Xenia, and then to a 23-year-old woman named Haley Campbell. By August, a grand jury indicted her on 4 counts, 2 for gross sexual imposition and 2 for pandering obscenity involving a minor. She was arrested and her bond set at $100,000. And then, finally, investigators sat down with Haley Campbell inside an interrogation room What she told them, it's all captured on video. From the very first moment, the detective lays it all out. The ICAC referral, the video, how they traced it straight to her. But her response, it isn't what anyone expected.
So, did they show you everything in here is recorded? Okay, so there's a camera right up there. That's for your safety, my safety. That way, anything that we say can be misconstrued. This door exits. You can get up and leave at any time you want. It's not locked, okay? You can leave at any time you want. You're done. Just say you're done, okay? So, like I told you earlier, I don't understand what you're going through. Okay, I've never been through that, but I hear you. I hear what you said.
It's not a joke.
So let me start from the beginning with how we got this. Okay. So, to be honest with you, this happened. We got this referral from ICAC. ICAC stands for ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children. In a nutshell, what they do is anytime there's videos of pornographic nature that involve a child, they get alerted by it, and they do a little bit of investigation on their own. So there's ICACs all over the country. And then when they find out where it's occurring at, they contact the local police department. So they got a referral, came to find out it has happened where you were living, and that's when they contact us. So we got this referral about a year ago. Why we haven't touched it for over a year, I'm not going to make an excuse for that. I think the only thing I can say is, as detectives, we all have caseloads, and stuff just gets pushed to the back burner.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we started looking into it today. We saw some of the videos. Your name is attached to the referral that we got. We did a little bit more digging. You know, we found your Facebook, and then some pictures of you on the Facebook, which we believed were the same child in the videos that I showed you. Okay? So that's what brought us to your doorstep this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. So just some of the questions I do need to go over with you. And we'll get into how the videos were made. And those, the videos I showed you with the correct? Okay. That is you in the video, correct? Say that again.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Were those videos done at your apartment?
Obviously, yeah.
Okay.
But I was forced to do
Okay,
it.
I know, and we're going to get into that.
I was forced to do it. That's her story from the very first moment. Haley says she didn't make those videos by choice. She was allegedly forced to. Of child pornography. That's Haley Campbell's story.
Really, in reality, I don't have those videos. I was made to make them. So you need to get with who has them.
So that's whose phone was used? So that was his phone that was used. Okay. So the videos are on his phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and
So
you're
that
going
would
to find more than just them, too.
That's what we're getting into. That's what we're getting into.
So it's nothing but child pornography. When I went through the phone, that's all I've seen. And I just instantly, like...
You know, you'll see YouTubers, right? They will be like, damn! The videos we played today means that this video today will earn me... I'd probably end up owing YouTube money because of all the wordage they use. So she just said pornography. That is a no-no. That will be flagged. So it's annoying though, because you guys still get ads for this, but this stream will be flagged as a do not promote this stream kind of video because of the wordage. Oh, hello KD, you're back. Hello. It's just annoying that you still get ads for it. They should limit the ads there, but they're happy to give you what guys ads, but they're not happy to pay the YouTubers because of the wordage. Edric Faust was the same one because of the words rape and stuff like that, you know. They flag LC for saying those words. So what will happen is they won't flag you. What happens is you just don't get they limit ad money and stuff like that. So law and crime won't. So you don't get into trouble for it. In the sense of I won't get a letter going, oh my God, you use these words. It's the algorithm. You'll then get obviously put out the algorithm because of the words, and you'll be on like a list where they won't push your content out there. Law and crime is different, obviously, because they've got millions and millions that watch them every week and stuff. But that's why a lot of channels either stop or don't cover those wordage, because like obviously I cover everything, but that's the reason you get flagged. And that's part of the reason why my videos don't get thrown out there to people, new people to watch, I should say. So, some of my comments are mysteriously absent lately. They're not mysteriously absent. We delete them, Dave. I think it's to do with YouTube. They've really clamped down. It's really clamped down. So I don't know why they've clamped down. Our settings have not changed. Unless the mods have been there doing it, like Sarah P. We don't do that. YouTube will let me chat with bad dads anymore. Well, that's not a bad thing, Katie. You should be thankful to YouTube for that.
After saying what he said about my sister, I was going to rape my sister, and then he demanded those videos from me, and I went through them because I felt like he was cheating on me, and I found all those videos of little kids. I was done. I was done. From there, I was done. I'm not going to be with somebody that's an opposed threat. I don't want that. I don't need that. I'm young myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm 23.
Okay.
43. So it kind of added up after that, you know?
So who is this boyfriend? Haley Campbell says they met in late 2019, early 2020. He used to live with his mom right across from Haley's place. For years, they were together. But recently, she claimed there was fighting, harassment. She tells the detective the boyfriend sent her videos of himself with other people, including, she says, young kids. So she basically puts it all on him. The detective knows he needs to keep pushing.
So, take me to the beginning. How did you all meet? When did that start?
He used to live with his mom out there.
Out where?
At my house. She lives right across from me.
Oh. So, in the U shape there, you're over here. Where does mom live? Is she on the left or right?
I'm right here. The where the maintenance was sitting right here?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, it's on the other side right here.
Okay.
That's where she lives.
And she's currently living there?
Yeah, she still lives there, which I'm still being stalked, and that's another problem. I'm going to have to put a restraining order against her, not just. So, that being said.
Again, when did it start? With you and him?
That's where I met. He was living with my
How long ago was
met
that?
him out there 2019.
Okay.
2020. Late 2020 is when I met him.
Okay.
We got together in like 2020, early 2020 though. Like we talked for a few months, then we got together, and ever since then we've been together. But up until the past few months, we've been arguing, fighting, cussing, hollering, screaming, and I'm done with it. I just finally cut all ties, and I haven't answered him, I haven't responded, haven't texted him, answered phone calls. He's been harassing me through other numbers, everything, anything that he can possibly do, he does it. Just harasses the shit out of me for no reason. He'll send me pictures and videos of him screwing other people and younger kids and just random strangers out in public, like, just sends me that. And it's like, I don't want nothing to do with it.
Where is he at now?
Living with his sister in Trotwood.
Okay.
But she's nowhere in Genie. He never comes out here. There's nothing out here for her. So she stays in Dayton or Trotwood.
What Haley says happened next, it changes everything. She describes being forced and threatened with a gun. And she says that's the only reason she made those videos, because she believed she had no choice.
So there's no other times that force you to do this, to make these videos?
No. There's been other times where I either do it or don't. And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
But that one point in time, like, I'm dead serious. I put it on my grandmother, and she passed away. Like, she's gone. I put it on my grandmother. He put that 45 in my mouth and told me if I don't do it, or take my life or take my sister, or even possibly come.
Okay.
And I'm not willing to do that. Like, I'm not willing to put other people's lives at risk. I'd rather take my own before or my sister.
The detective keeps pressing, and he wants to know where the boyfriend was when those videos were made. Her answer? In the house. Just the two of them. She says it started as a regular day until he got angry. And when he did, he didn't just yell. She claims he threatened her.
And I know I asked you this question out there and you got pissed off with me. When these videos were being made, where was he at?
In the house.
Okay, I understand he was in the house. Was the bedroom with you?
Yeah, in and out.
Okay, just in and out. Alright. You the only one there? Anyone else?
That was it. I don't let nobody else in my house. And I only...
See you a little bit, Rhonda. In case I'm gone, I'll see you later, Rhonda, in case... because we're probably going to be offline in about 20 minutes. So, well, 25 minutes. So just in case. I don't think I'm going to be streaming much this week. Because the NFL Combine is going to be on, so I want to watch that. So yeah, just in case, I say have a great weekend. But if you come back, that's fine.
But there because we were just hanging out, you know what I'm saying? It was just a regular day up until the point where he gets pissed off and threatens me, and
why did he get off?
I don't know, mentally ill. Honestly. I mean, listen, I know I got a mouth, and I know I like to push people, but you don't, there's an extent to that. You don't threaten people's lives. I've never threatened anybody's life. I mean, yeah, I might get pissed off, I might say, you or something, but I've never said, hey, I never do this in somebody's mouth and be like, I'm about to shoot you if you don't do this. I don't do that. I'm not that type of person. Like, I'm just sickening, bro. I don't even really like to talk about it. I don't really like to think about it. I'm trying to move past it. I'm trying to get away from it. Like, I'm traumatized by it.
Was it about a year ago, over a year ago, when these videos were made?
It was a little over a year.
A little over a year.
Yeah, probably 2 years.
Okay.
I would never purposely do that. It's sick.
The detective steps out. Haley makes a phone call, and what follows is raw, angry, and completely unfiltered. You can hear her say she's furious that this is all coming up now, just when she says she thought she was moving on with her life. She talks about the...
See, Sarah P, right, have a great weekend, Sarah P, in case I don't see you until next week. So everyone, the chat should work a lot better now that Sarah P's gone. I didn't want to say nothing while she was here. She's the one that monitors and blocks all the chats and stuff like that. I didn't want to say anything while she was still here, but yeah, she's got a real gripe about all of you chatting, so she likes to block you all. So anyway, so chat should be good now. All right, everybody, let's get back to it.
The gun, the alleged threats.
So basically,
yeah, you just kind of got the whole rundown from your mom.
Basically, so because I'm trying to move on and get away from him, so he harasses me, bro, and it's even worse.
It's fine, we'll take care of it.
No, because now I feel like a piece of shit, man. It's just not right.
Yeah.
No, you bring it up at the wrong time, like, you bring it up at the wrong time. It's inaccurate now. You know what I'm saying? You really threatened my life. You really had a gun in my mouth and pulled the trigger and everything. What?
Your mom was asking me for something. I was just like, myself, yeah. Keep going up.
I'm pissed off. Like, you threatened my life. You threatened to break my sister. You literally pulled the trigger with a gun in my mouth and told me I had to do something, or it was my life or my sister's. So yeah, I mean, I'd rather risk my own life versus somebody else's, of course. But now you bring it up 2 years later, bro. I'm about to turn this around and throw it right on you, and you're about to go the down.
Do it. I'm not joking. You just screwed your livelihood. You can put it in the dirt now. Whether it's through the prison system or what.
Bro, I cannot believe it. It's me.
The call continues, and the weight of the situation, it's settling in. There's now a CPS investigation. She's worried about her child. She's angry, frustrated. A search warrant is being executed at her house, and she says she's terrified of what they might find.
So now I have an open investigation with CPS that I'm not allowed to have my fucking...
Hey. Seriously, listen to me. Didn't we get you through the last spot? Through a tough time? We'll get you through this one too, okay?
Bro, I can't keep walking in.
When your sister attacked you and the cops were coming and you were freaking out. You're going to be completely fine on this, and we will do whatever we can to take care of you on this, alright?
Bro, I cannot fucking believe this shit.
I know, and I can't either, and I think it's bullshit, but will you listen to me? I know you didn't want to last time or believe me, but I promise you, we will get through this. You'll be completely fine. Okay?
I'm so mad right now. I'm so on fire inside.
I know you are, and that's a very, logical thing when it comes to emotions and whatnot with your family. I get that.
Bro, this mom wanna pull in when the cops are standing at my door and just stare at me. You know exactly what the is going down here. Son called the cops on me.
Yeah, and I know he works, I know what car drives. I just need to know a few more things, and I will take care of this.
Bro, I cannot believe it. Why do this, bro? All because because I'm moving on, bro. I'm done. I don't want to be with him anymore. So you the wrong one. No, not only do I not get to see, but my mom had to leave work knowing that she can't leave work, knowing that she couldn't leave work because she's about to get in trouble for leaving it. Yeah. I already know. Trust me, she was the last person I wanted to call, but I couldn't call you because they're not going to let you take it. You're not the legal guardian. Well, the other person I could have called was but still irrelevant. He doesn't have custody either. So it's going to take a couple months. That's not how CPS works. But they literally issued a search warrant for my house, and they're going through my house right now as we speak. There's so much in my house, I couldn't tell you what is in there and what's not. There's so much stuff in that house, I couldn't tell you what is and what's not in there. No.
When the detective comes back, the questions turn technical. The videos in question, they weren't made on an iPhone. They were made on an Android. She has a new iPhone now, a new cloud. And as you will hear her say, she uses it for OnlyFans. But those videos, she says they're not on there.
Bye.
A couple more questions. So you said you always use an Android. What is that, an Apple? Do you always use Apple?
I've had this Apple for a minute now, but
How long
I don't always use it. Probably a year, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Not even that. It's new. I just got it from Spectrum and I'm paying it off.
What did you have prior to that one?
An Android.
An Android?
Yeah.
Do you know which one?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have it in the apartment?
Yeah, but it's broke. See, the screen won't turn on.
Okay.
Like, it's got one of them buttons on the back, and I don't know what happened. I think I dropped it or something, or it got exposed to water, but the screen won't come on. Like, I could hook it up to something probably and get, like, pictures or something off of it, but there really ain't nothing on it.
You were saying to your mom or somebody about text messages, him threatening you. Are those going to be on that phone?
It's on my Gmail.
On your Gmail. What is your Gmail? Okay. Did he have access to your Gmail?
No, but I had access to my old one and it got deleted.
What was your old one?
I had that on his computer.
Okay.
Which computer ended up stolen. So I don't know where it went, but I was logged into his computer and somehow, like my old Android, it was like you can't log into this account, something that's been not recovered, but it's been something another, and I was like, I don't even know what the is going on, so I just made a new one, and then I went to my old one, like the 71. I used that back in like high school.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I used that for schoolwork. So I just started using that one, and I made a new iCloud, which is my cloud. That's the email that I use. Either that one or. But
yeah, who's that?
That's all I use for my. The only thing I use that for is my OnlyFans to log in.
The detective notices scars on her hand, tattoos covering them, but then the questions turn back to the case.
I saw a scar on top of your hand. What's that from?
Road rash.
So this when your mom said you were in a bad crash when you were like 16. Is that what that's from?
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost lost my hand. It was like that big.
All your tattoos. When did you get your tattoos?
Too young. I was hiding that one from my dad. But I only got them to try to cover up these scars, but when I started, like, my scars were so bad that I couldn't cover them up. They're just now to the point where you can't really see them. Like, they were really bad. I had scars all the way up my arm.
What about the one on your right thigh there? When did you get that one? Right.
This?
Yes.
Where?
The dream catcher.
Years ago. It was right after my grandma passed away. She passed away in like 21 or 22.
Okay.
Age 21.
Alright.
All my tattoos are old though, 5, 6 years old.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck with
Did your stepdad say, or your mom's boyfriend, I'm sorry, say that he's coming out to pick you up or something later tonight?
He asked me if I wanted to get out and go to the shop. My car is over there, torn apart. I've been working on it. You know, it's not really my car. But I'm trying to get it together for I got it all wrapped up and tacked out in autism.
Oh, okay.
It's a car show car.
Gotcha.
The detective has a request. He wants to look at her phone right there, not for the OnlyFans content, for the videos at the center of the investigation.
Like I told you before about your phone, that we're going to take it as evidence. I'll be honest with you, I don't want to do that. I mean, everyone uses their phones like their lifeline.
Yeah.
Something I'm asking you, I don't care about your OnlyFans account. I don't care about your OnlyFans videos. Would you allow me to look into your phone right now? I want to see if there's any of those specific videos. It would be confirming what you're telling me.
Okay.
Do you, when you record videos for your OnlyFans, do you do it all through just the camera app
Yeah, I do it every night, yeah.
Okay.
Just the camera, I try to delete it though, because I don't have enough storage. I got so many screenshots and just pictures of random. So
I think we all do.
Not 2,000 of them though.
At any time. Say stop. Okay.
I don't really care. I mean, you done seen it, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so there's a big gap from October of 21 through July of 23.
Because I didn't have an iPhone.
Okay, you weren't using iPhone at the time?
No,
So at the time, the video that we've seen, you were using the Android? Okay.
Yeah. That's all backed up to my Gmail account, but my Gmail account's deleted because I hacked it.
Okay.
So all I got is my iCloud now, so I switched back to Apple because I felt it was tracking me on that Android. I don't know how it was. It knew where I was at all times, so.
Hippie chick's back just in time for us to leave in about 10 minutes. That's fine. We're only going to be here for a little bit longer, hippie chick. Finish this off and then we'll be going.
I guess really the only thing that's probably explicit on there that you would consider explicit was in the bathtub, but I thought it was funny because he had these goggles on and was laying flat and was stretched all the way out and underneath the water. He was doing good.
And who was doing that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Obviously an OnlyFans picture.
Right, I understand that.
And that wasn't even at my house, so.
The conversation shifts to the search warrant. The detective asks if she'll give consent, let them search her apartment now instead of waiting.
So yeah, we are currently, one of the steps in this process, we're going to do a search warrant of your apartment. Okay.
I thought you already did.
No, we haven't done that. Because it has to be, search warrant has to be written, then approved by the prosecutor, and then signed by the judge. We're currently in that approval and waiting process. To speed up this process, something I'm going to ask you, would you give us consent to go search your apartment?
Yeah, as long as I'm there, because my dog.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
don't
that's the
want
thing.
nobody to be there without me being there to be able to control my dog.
Like you said, your dog didn't bark at us one time when we were there.
No, I mean, I don't think being
What kind of dog?
but American hit and something else mixed with something. I forget what it was, what they said. It's like some kind of terrier or something. But he's trained well. It's not maturing because balls won't drop. One's stuck in his stomach, so he's got to go get surgery. So he's still stuck in teenage years, and he likes to jump. And people take that as jumping on me, like you should take me down. Really, it's just a big baby. And I don't know. I haven't really had him around a lot of people, so.
Yeah, so I can't force you to give us consent. I'm asking you, I'm not trying to coerce you into it whatsoever.
How long is the search warrant going to take you guys?
I wish I could give you a
I
time.
mean, you're still going to be there today.
Mm-hmm.
The judge ain't going to tell you no, so.
No, the judge could tell us no. That always could happen.
No. I'm going to say no.
I mean, Again, when I was just out there a couple minutes ago, we were still in that waiting process. So maybe in the time I've been here, it's changed.
You guys will be alright. It'll get approved.
So would you prefer us to wait on the search warrant?
Yeah.
Okay. I totally understand that. I would do the same thing.
Guess I could at least get the dishes out of my sink.
So, just have a seat. I don't know what the status is.
More than welcome to go home. If you do, obviously one of us is going to stay at your house until we're either told we have a search warrant or we don't. Or I can give you a ride somewhere else. It's up to you. I'm going to say you have to go somewhere else. I just don't know if you want to go home.
No, I'm going home. I gotta get dressed. I'm going to the shop. Y'all can do whatever you want to do.
Okay. It's just like I said.
I'll leave my door open for you guys. There's nothing in there for me to hide.
It's just whatever we see in the video is what we're looking for. That's all.
Might find a bowl somewhere or something from I don't know when, because I don't even smoke weed really like that anymore. So, and it's legal.
Yeah, we're not worried about that.
There's nothing in my house though.
There's no guns.
I'm not sure, KD, but she doesn't seem that old. She's got a child, obviously, so I don't know. Hello, Colleen. Nice to see you, my darling. Always nice to see Colleen. Just as we're about to finish, Colleen pops in. We love that. Hippie Chick pops in. We're just like, hey, Hippie Chick. Colleen comes in, we're like, party! I'm joking, Hippie Chick. We love you. Most of the time, we love you. Hope you're doing well, Colleen.
Nothing like that.
No,
I don't have to worry about safety.
I can't even have guns out there, so.
Okay. I'm just worried for safety wise. That's the only reason I'm asking. So, and I didn't know if you actually left a gun somewhere. So.
She's 23. Her name's Haley Evelyn. She's 23, headed to prison for at least a decade after investigators say she recorded a sex act on her phone while child slept in the same bed. Oh wow. Newly released interrogation video captures the moment she admits she's the woman in the footage while offering a shocking explanation for why it was made. So there you go. She was 23 when it happened, and she did a sex act in a bed when her child was asleep next to her. Oh. No Bex. Yeah, no Bex today.
Absolutely not.
Alright.
No.
You ready to go?
Because I have this thing for guns, and has to play with guns. I don't think I would understand.
Everyone in Boston's saying the same. Everyone's got like loads of snow there. I thought Boston could handle snow. Everyone laughed at me when we had like a couple of inches of snow.
And you can't play with a real gun, so I definitely don't have those in my house now.
Okay. Let me grab the other detective and we'll get you right home, okay?
All right.
She decides to wait for the warrant, and the detective tells her they'll be in touch. But here's what happened after that door closed. On October 16th, 2025, Haley Campbell pleaded no contest to 1 count of gross sexual imposition and 1 count of pandering obscenity involving a minor. 2 other counts were dismissed. On January 15th, 2026, a judge sentenced her to 10 to 13 and a half years in prison. As to count 1, gross sexual imposition, a 3rd-degree felony, she was sentenced to 36 months in prison. And as to count 2, pandering obscenity involving a minor, that's a 2nd-degree felony. She was sentenced to 7 to 10 and a half years in prison. She was designated a Tier 2 sex offender. For the next 25 years, she'll have to register her address every 180 days. And according to court records, Campbell isn't done fighting. On January 30th, Her attorney filed a notice of appeal. At the time of this recording, that appeal is still pending. As for the boyfriend, the one she accused of holding a gun to her head and forcing her to make those videos, public records show no charges were ever filed against him. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. Remember, you can always catch us on YouTube. You can also watch us and listen.
I don't watch you unless I have to. But I did appreciate that update. So there you go, people. I'm sorry, Rhonda. Yeah, you did ask. So there you go. That was a bit of an interesting stream today, I think. Not the best, but we covered some sick cases today. So it is definitely his fault, Colleen. Hippie chick working the streets. We have 2 more storms coming. It can't melt fast enough. I'm tired of shoveling. I can't imagine it. Do you know what I mean? Hippie chick, I hope your back's doing well as well. We didn't see Bex or Lady Di today. That is them in the naughty corner next week. Yeah, Rhonda told us all about snow as well. There's a few people out there. Keep warm, everyone. I don't believe that I'm going to be streaming for the rest of the week. I'm not saying I won't, but at the minute I have no plans because the NFL Combine is on, so I probably want to go and watch that. So that's my. There's nothing on, so. But we'll see. If anything does come up, I might jump on. So I know you're Razin. You're all good. Rhonda, you'll never be in my bad books because you're always nice to me. So you're fine. The rest of them, they're fucked. Right, everyone. I'm going to end it there because most of you have to go anyway. I hope you enjoyed the trials that you are watching, and I will see you next week probably. If not, I'll come back on maybe, but probably next week. With that, everyone.